Chapter 49. Tian Chanzi said in a deep voice, "There are many spells, but there are many profound spells that you have no way to practice. I suggest that you focus on 2 directions." "What are those 2 directions?" "Formations and true fire." Formations are divided into defensive and offensive formations. The requirements for offensive formations are very high, so naturally its power is also very high. Have you heard of the phrase drawing a prison? Of course I've heard of it. Drawing a prison is a type of offensive formation. Just casually draw a formation, and it will trap the enemy in place. No matter how powerful you are, it will be difficult to escape the fate of being killed. Tang Zheng was fascinated and couldn't help but sigh. That's too powerful. Heh, that's why I say that your knowledge is still far from enough. However, don't expect to learn such an offensive formation now. Learning defensive formations is a good choice. However, the initial stages of defensive formations generally require the assistance of external objects. Generally, jade stones are required. You need to arrange the formation within the jade stones. When the enemy attacks, the defensive formation will automatically activate and achieve the effect of protection. Jade, where can I find jade? Of course you have to buy it. Tang Zheng's face immediately turned bitter. In order to save his grandfather, he had already spent all his money, so where would he find the money to buy jade? No, I must earn money to buy jade. Right, can this jade protect others? Of course it can. As long as you wear the jade will naturally protect you. Tang Zheng's heart moved. Now he had the confidence to protect himself, but many of the important people around him did not have the ability to protect themselves, such as his grandfather and Feng Shishir. Then hurry up and teach me this defensive formation. In addition, there is also the body lock technique. You said before that when I reach the 3rd grade refining chi I can learn this spell. The pressure point technique had saved Tang Zheng more than once, so he had long been looking forward to learning the body lock technique. The body lock technique was more powerful than the pressure point technique. It did not require physical contact and could be completed by chanting the incantation. It was simply the best choice for protection. Alright. The body immobilization technique only has a few lines of incantations. This incantation is used to draw in the spiritual chi of heaven and earth, thus impacting the person's acupuncture points to achieve the effect of body immobilization. However, the effect varies from person to person. The smoother your communication with the spiritual chi of heaven and earth, the better the effect of the technique. Tang Zheng silently memorized the incantation. The incantation was very short, consisting of only a few words. It would only take a few seconds to finish chanting. However, without a target to cast the spell on, he did not know how effective it would be. For the next 2 days, the monthly mock exam was held as scheduled. Tang Zheng deliberately controlled his score so that he would continue to be in the last position. After the exam was the last day of March, and the entire grade was on holiday. Feng Shishir originally planned to stay with Tang Zheng, but because of a guest at her house, she changed her plans at the last minute. Tang Zheng was at a loss as to how to make money. He could not continue to fight. Was he supposed to work? Don't be ridiculous. How much can you earn from doing odd jobs? Buying jade would cost a lot of money. The least would be tens of thousands, and the most would be hundreds of thousands. This was a huge sum of money. Tang Zheng was just an ordinary high school student. How could he earn so much money in such a short period of time? Boss, today is a rare day off. Come with me to a place. Feng Yong suddenly called. Where are we going? You'll know when we get there. I guarantee that this trip will not be in vain. Feng Yong mysteriously said. Since Tang Zheng had nothing to do, he agreed. Not long after, Feng Yong drove in front of Tang Zheng. Feng Yong, you know how to drive. Tang Zheng looked at him in surprise. Driving is not difficult. Boss, you're so smart. You'll definitely be able to learn it. Tang Zheng actually had the idea of learning how to drive. However, he had to study and cultivate at the same time. He had no time to do so. He could only wait until after the college entrance exam. Boss, the place we're going to today is quite interesting. There's a lot of fun. Feng Yong excitedly said. Oh, just what kind of place is it that makes you so excited? Hey, I'll keep you in suspense. You'll naturally know when we get there. The car sped all the way to the suburbs. A large building complex appeared in front of them. The greenery on both sides of the road became more and more beautiful. It was truly a place filled with green trees and surrounded by small rivers. It was completely devoid of the hustle and bustle of the city. The car stopped in front of the building complex. Feng Yong handed over an invitation card. A man wearing a black suit and headset opened the door. He looked like a bodyguard from the movies. As the car drove in, Tang Zheng felt that the scenery inside was even more beautiful than outside. Hundreds of flowers bloomed. Not far away was a huge lake and a golf course. In the distance, one could even faintly see Chongheng Mountain. This is our destination. Ordinary Balance Courtyard. It is said that in ancient times, it was the imperial palace. Look at those ancient buildings. Many of them are relics left behind from ancient times. Later generations built many new ones. That's why it has become like this. This is where many successful people of ordinary balance live. Feng Yong introduced. Tang Zheng nodded. He did not say a word. He already knew that Feng Yong's family was not ordinary, so he was not surprised. Boss, you're really amazing. The first time I came here, it was like Granny Lu entering the Grandview Garden. But you didn't react at all. This must be what my father meant by being indifferent. My father will be here in a while. Let's play first. Boss, there's everything here. What do you want to play? I'm not familiar with it. You decide. Tang Zheng lightly said. He was not completely unsurprised. Seeing such a luxurious place for the first time, no matter who it was, they would be surprised. But with the increase of Tang Zheng's power, his state of mind had undergone a great change. He no longer completely showed the changes in his state of mind on his face. There's something fun here that you can't find anywhere else. Come, I'll take you there. These buildings were like ancient palaces. They were richly decorated and extremely luxurious. A moment later, the two arrived at a large hall. Casino? Tang Zheng was surprised. Haha, that's why I said this place can't be found anywhere else. The ordinary Balance Courtyard's backer is very awesome. So this casino is very safe. Many people gamble here. It's simply the ordinary Balance's Las Vegas. You play, I'll just watch. Tang Zheng only had $100 on him. He couldn't even gamble a single round. Moreover, he was not in a good position to do this. How can that be? Boss, I brought you here, so how can I let you watch? Hee, look, this is my little treasury. There's $200,000 inside. It's all the pocket money I've saved up over the years. I've already prepared it. Today we're going to kill and win big. Feng Yong's eyes shined like a pervert seeing a naked beauty. For the first time, Tang Zheng discovered that Feng Yong actually had the potential to be a gambler. But he remembered his grandfather's teachings. 10 gambles, 9 losses. He wanted to persuade Feng Yong, but he was worried about ruining his mood, so he didn't say anything. Boss, here's $200,000 worth of chips. We'll split it in half. Let's play separately for now. Later we'll see whose results are better. Feng Yong stuffed the chips he had just exchanged into Tang Zheng, and then rushed to the gambling table. Tang Zheng shook his head and helplessly sighed. The uncertainty of gambling was too great. He wouldn't risk Feng Yong's money. He knew that even if he lost it all, Feng Yong wouldn't let him pay it back. But he wouldn't do that. Tang Zheng strolled around the casino. It was very big, and there were all kinds of gambling. There was even a separate room on the second floor. Kid, aren't you worried about money? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Tian Chanzi's voice suddenly sounded. You mean gambling? What if I lose? It's not my money, it's Feng Yong's money. With me here you'll still lose. You're simply insulting me. Tian Chanzi said indignantly. What do you mean? You mean you have a way to win money? Of course, with me here, it'll be hard for you not to win money. Tian Chanzi boasted proudly. Tang Zheng's head moved. If Tian Chanzi had a way to win money, then this was the fastest way to earn money. Okay, I'll bet. Tang Zheng made up his mind. In this society, it was hard to do anything without money. Moreover, he also knew that in the future, he would need money in many ways, so he had to earn money as fast as possible. Tian Chanzi, what method do you have? I can tell you the other person's cards. Tang Zheng was very happy. No wonder Tian Chanzi was so confident. If he could see the other person's cards, then he could definitely win money. Then let's play Golden Flower. Among the gambling here, this was a game that Tang Zheng was slightly familiar with, so he went straight to the gambling table of Golden Flower. It just so happened that one person had lost too much, so he threw his cards away and stopped playing. He kept muttering, F***ck, this position is too unlucky. I've lost 500,000 yuan. I'll go change my position and play something else. Tang Zheng sat down. The others glanced at him and signaled the beautiful dealer to deal the cards. The dealer glanced at Tang Zheng and quietly dealt the cards. There were 5 people at the table, and each of them got 3 cards. The 4 people didn't look at their cards, but Tang Zheng directly picked up his cards. The other people showed a look of ridicule. They thought that another person had come to give money. Looking at Tang Zheng's unfamiliar appearance, it was obvious that he didn't gamble often. The starting bet was 1,000 yuan. The dealer started to bet, and directly put down 2,000 yuan. The second and third also put down 2,000 yuan. It was Tang Zheng's turn. Tang Zheng had already looked at his cards. If he followed, he would have to bet 4,000 yuan. Everyone looked at him. He seemed to be thinking, as if he was weighing the pros and cons. In fact, Tang Zheng was very happy. Before he looked at his cards, he had already learned his cards from Tian Chanzi. He just picked them up to verify Tian Chanzi's words. Tian Chanzi's words were true. Tian Chanzi also told him the other people's cards. This time, his luck was bad. He was the worst among all of them, so he didn't plan to gamble and directly folded. The others looked at him with ridicule. He was too timid. He was indeed a newbie. If you were always careful in gambling, you wouldn't win money. Gambling was about gambling. If you were too careful, you would lose more in the end. This game ended quickly. In the end, the fat man diagonally opposite Tang Zheng won nearly 100,000 yuan. Tang Zheng said that if he didn't have Tian Chanzi's help, he might have lost all the chips. Chapter 50. This time, Tang Zheng did not look at his cards. He followed the others and placed a $2,000 bet. The others were secretly delighted. Young people were impatient. After losing the first round, they immediately lost their cool. After the first round of bets, one person looked at his cards. Tang Zheng was still sitting calmly because he already knew all the cards. This time, his cards were the biggest, so he was not worried at all. The person who looked at his cards found that his cards were not bad. He revealed a happy expression and continued to bet. After the second round of bets, 4 people placed bets while one person placed bets. Next, 2 people looked at their cards. One of them sighed and folded his cards. It was obvious that his cards were too small. The other person did not move. It seemed that his cards were not bad. Now, there were 4 people left at the table. Tang Zheng and the fatty who had won the previous round did not look at their cards. The fatty sat calmly and seemed to be full of confidence. He was clearly an old gambler. After the third round of bets, Tang Zheng pretended to look at his cards. The fatty also looked at his cards. He did not move, making it difficult for others to see his cards clearly. However, Tang Zheng already knew his cards. The fatty had a pair of aces and a king. His cards were the biggest after Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng had a straight of 4, 5, 6, and was the biggest card on the table. One person saw that he had already placed 3 rounds of bets and directly competed with the fatty. He shook his head in annoyance as he lost. The other person stared at Tang Zheng and also sadly folded when he competed with him. In the end, only Tang Zheng and the fatty were left at the table. The fatty looked at Tang Zheng and smiled. "Young man, your luck is not bad." Tang Zheng smiled and said, "I'll count on your auspicious words." The 2 of them placed 2 more rounds of bets. There were already tens of thousands of dollars on the table. The fatty's expression changed slightly. He stared at Tang Zheng and said, "I don't believe that your luck is really that good. I'll open you." The result was self-evident. Tang Zheng won. The fatty looked at Tang Zheng suspiciously. This was the first time he folded without hesitation, but this time he persisted until the end and won. It was really strange. However, Tang Zheng's cards were not small, so he should have persisted. The game continued. With the help of Tian Chanzi, Tang Zheng was like a god. After a while, the chips in front of him were piled high. He had won nearly 500,000 yuan. He lost and left the table. Everyone gradually realized that Tang Zheng did not win every time. He would lose sometimes, but he always won more than he lost. As long as he persisted until the end, the winner would definitely be him. It was as if he had known the cards beforehand. But how was that possible? F***ck, I can't play this card anymore. The other three picked up their remaining chips and stood up. They looked at Tang Zheng as if he were a monster. The people nearby also noticed the situation here. They gathered around and discussed. Deal the cards. The fatty did not admit defeat. The fatty did not dare to be careless and directly looked at his cards. His eyes flashed with joy, but he pretended to be calm. This was because his cards were 3ks. This was already considered a super big shot in the Golden Flower game. He was confident that he could win this game. He could not help but regret looking at his cards. If he had known that his cards were so good, he would have kept betting and won all the chips in his opponent's hand. However, if he let his opponent escape with such good cards, it would be a pity. Thus, he pushed over 500,000 yuan worth of chips in front of him and said, "I'll bet all of it. Let's compete directly. I don't believe that your luck is really that good. You've already seen your cards, but your opponent hasn't. Aren't you bullying him?" Someone spoke up. "Shut up. I'm the one betting, not you. Young man, do you have the courage to do so? If your luck is really that good, then all the chips in front of me will be yours." The fatty provoked and tempted at the same time. Tang Zheng's face was calm as he said, "Since you also say that my luck is good, then I'll take advantage of your auspicious words and gamble." Tang Zheng pushed over 500,000 yuan worth of chips in front of him, as if he really did fall for the opponent's provocation. "Boss." Suddenly, Feng Yong came in. When he saw the chips in front of Tang Zheng, his eyes widened in disbelief. "Boss, you won this much? Today's luck is good. How are your results?" I lost it all." Feng Yong hung his head dejectedly and said embarrassedly. He looked at the situation on the table and asked in surprise, "You want to bet all of your chips?" Seeing Tang Zheng nod, Feng Yong immediately advised, "Boss, it's too risky. The opponent has already seen his cards. Looking at his confident appearance, his cards must be very good. You haven't seen your cards yet, so you're at a disadvantage." "Hee, everyone says that my luck is good, so I also want to bet on my luck," Tang Zheng said indifferently. Feng Yong sighed. "Boss really is the boss. This boldness is extraordinary." Although Feng Yong's family was well off, he did not have such boldness. Seeing that Tang Zheng had made up his mind, as a younger brother he naturally could not lose face for his boss. He passionately said, "I believe in you, boss. This time we will definitely win." But in his heart he sighed. "Although this was my hard-earned savings, but I have already lost it all. If boss also loses, then it doesn't matter. Young people are really too inexperienced." The others sighed in pity. The fatty's sinister intentions were too obvious. Tang Zheng ignored the other people's gossip and directly said to the fatty, "Then you open your cards." 3 kings. The fatty threw his cards and heroically said, "Wow, he can even get this kind of card. His luck is really good. No wonder he would bet all of his chips. This time that young man will definitely lose." Feng Yong's face was very ugly. Needless to say, he would definitely lose. "Boss, let's go," Feng Yong dejectedly said. "We haven't opened our cards yet. How can we leave?" Tang Zheng lightly said. Feng Yong dejectedly said, "Boss, he has 3 kings. It's too big. We will definitely lose." "That's right. Young man, let's go. Don't be so impulsive in the future," the others advised. The fatty provocatively looked at Tang Zheng. He proudly said, "Don't you think that your luck is good? You want to be a deserter without opening your cards? Haha. Everyone says that my luck is good today. I also think that my luck is not bad. So the outcome is still not decided." Tang Zheng loudly said, "Feng Yong, help me open my cards." "Boss, it doesn't matter if we lose. Let's go. Open your cards." Feng Yong helplessly opened his card. It was an ace. The others all shook their heads. It was only an ace. In front of 3 kings, it was still insignificant. The second ace. E2 aces. His cards are not small. This young man's luck is really good. Someone exclaimed. What's the use of being good? It's only a pair of aces. We will still lose. Someone retorted. Who knows, maybe he'll get 3 aces, said someone who didn't want to give up. Haha, are you awake? How can 3 aces be so easy to get? Moreover, 3 aces against 3 kings. The probability is too small. The probability is small, but it's not impossible. Quickly open your cards. Someone urged. Feng Yong looked at Tang Zheng and said in his heart, could it really be 3 aces? He was a little excited and slowly opened the 3rd card. The 3rd ace. Wah! Someone exclaimed in amazement. It was really 3 A's. It was too unbelievable. The fatty's smile immediately froze. He was like a puppet as he stared blankly at the 3 aces. How could it be so coincidental? Feng Yong witnessed this miraculous moment and even personally participated in it. He couldn't help but excitedly jump up and laugh. Haha, 3 aces. We won. Boss won. Everyone looked at Tang Zheng with a bit of shock in their eyes. This little handsome guy's luck was truly heaven-defying. He was simply the god of gambling. Moreover, he was unfazed by anything. He simply had the style of an otherworldly expert. Impossible. That's definitely cheating. Fatty suddenly screamed like a madman. The others all revealed looks of disdain. Cheating? Please, there were so many pairs of eyes watching. Moreover, he didn't even look at his cards. How could he cheat? Moreover, who would dare to cheat in the ordinary balance courtyard? Did he not want to live anymore? Hey, Fatty, don't slander others. A loss is a loss. There are so many pairs of eyes watching. Feng Yong disdainfully said. The fatty was speechless. He also realized that the situation he spoke of was impossible. This could only be attributed to Tang Zheng's luck being too good. Or perhaps he was seeking his own death. Boss, let's not play with this kind of tasteless person. Let's go play something else. Feng Yong said. Let's not play anymore. Your father should have arrived. Let's go. Tang Zheng had already won 1 million after deducting 100,000. This was not considered much in the casino. But after causing such a ruckus, it really was too eye-catching. Moreover, this amount of money was enough for his recent expenses. So he chose to leave. Boss, your luck is so good. You should continue to kill. Feng Yong excitedly said. Tang Zheng shook his head and said, luck cannot always be good. We should quit while we are ahead. AI, that really is a pity. Feng Yong said regretfully. The two of them went to exchange for chips. Feng Yong, this is the 1 million we won. You and I will each take 500,000. Tang Zheng said. When Feng Yong heard this, he hurriedly shook his head and said, how can that be? This was all won by you. How can I take your money? If I did not have your capital, even if I had good luck, I would not have been able to win this money. So half of the credit goes to you. No, this is all because of you, boss. If I were to gamble by myself, I would have already lost everything. So the most I want is 200,000. Tang Zheng tried to persuade him again, but Feng Yong persisted. With no other choice, Tang Zheng could only transfer the remaining 900,000 into his card. In the monitoring room, a handsome man with sharp eyebrows and bright eyes watched the replay with interest. In the end, the screen froze on Tang Zheng's calm face. He could not help but mutter to himself. He is very confident. It seems that he already knew the cards. Haha, interesting. Such an interesting little fellow appeared in the ordinary balance area. As he said this, he turned his head to look at the old man beside him. The old man was drowsy, as if he was dozing off. Qin Lao, did you see any clues about him? Qin Lao opened his eyes and glanced at the screen. He shook his head and said, he did not cheat. As for the method, my old eyes are not good enough to see it. Chapter 51. When Tang Zheng saw Feng Yun, he immediately confirmed that he and Feng Yong were father and son because there were some similarities between their eyebrows. Feng Yun had the calmness and magnanimity of a middle-aged man, but he also did not have the arrogance of 1,000 miles away, making people feel very close to him. Feng Yun sized up Tang Zheng while saying with a smile, "Little Tang, your name is like thunder to my ears. My family's little brat talks about you every day, praising you to the point that you are like heaven and earth. Seeing you today, I can see that you are indeed a talent. This little brat finally has a good eye." "Uncle Feng, you flatter me." Tang Zheng lightly smiled. "No, I have never seen my family's kid so convinced before. You are the first. I heard that you specially made a revision plan for him. During this period of time, he is much more diligent than before. When he came back yesterday, he told me that this month's mock exam will definitely be better than before. Feng Yong and I are friends. Helping each other is something we should do." "Haha, right. You should make more friends at your age. Let's go, the auction is about to start. Let's go in first." Tang Zheng looked at Feng Yong and did not know what auction it was. Feng Yong shrugged his shoulders and said in a low voice, "The auction is not interesting at all. A group of people pretending to be cultured. It is not as fun as the casino." "You 7 went to the casino?" Feng Yun casually asked. "Did you win or lose?" Feng Yong beamed with joy and said, "Dad, you don't know how cool Boss was. He was simply the god of gambling. He easily won 1,000,000. Feng Yong looked at Tang Zheng with astonishment and said, "Little Tang is good at gambling?" "No, I was just lucky. I don't usually gamble." Feng Yun solemnly nodded his head and said, "Gambling a little is good for the mood, but gambling a lot is bad for the body. Especially you young people must remember." Tang Zheng once thought of gambling to make money. He had Tian Chanzi to cheat. Not to mention millions, even millions would not be difficult. But later he rejected the idea. Gambling was not the right way to do it. Moreover, if you won so much money, wouldn't others be jealous? Although he had a lot of skills, but he would also get into trouble. The gains would not make up for the losses. Feng Yun's words hit the nail on the head, causing his favorable impression of Feng Yun to multiply. "Little Yong, the auction is not completely a show of culture. This is an opportunity to train one's decisiveness and foresight." Feng Yun educated. Feng Yong curled his lips and said disapprovingly, "Anyway, I feel that it's very boring. However, with my boss accompanying me today, it's a little more interesting than before." Feng Yun helplessly shook his head and said, "Little Tang, look at how lazy he is. I really can't help it." "Uncle Feng, everyone has their own interests." Feng Yong's interests just don't lie in this. Sigh, I don't expect him to have any great achievements. As long as he doesn't squander away the family business that I worked so hard to earn, everything will be fine. Tang Zheng's heart skipped a beat. He still didn't know what Feng Yong's family did. Feng Yong was secretive about it, so he didn't ask directly. "Hi hey, Feng Yun, all you do is fiddle with shameful things and you still want your son to inherit your father's business. You really are bold." Suddenly, a person said in a strange tone. Looking towards the source of the voice, Tang Zheng immediately saw a familiar face, the fatty who just lost to him. Feng Yun frowned and said, "Zhang Dali, I don't need you to tell me what to do with my business. You should just mind your own business." "Haha, I also don't want to tell you what to do. For a grown man to fiddle with such shameful things like sex toys, it really is shameful," Zhang Dali jokingly said. Feng Yong heard this and his face turned red. He lowered his head in embarrassment. Tang Zheng suddenly realized why Feng Yong was secretive about his family business. So his family was in the sex toy business. Suddenly, Jiang Dali saw Tang Zheng and was slightly stunned. "It's you." Tang Zheng coldly said, "It's me." "Hang, little brat. So you and the one surnamed Feng are in cahoots. You don't learn good things at such a young age, associating with this kind of person," Jiang Dali disdainfully said. Tang Zheng did not bat an eyelid, but Feng Yong was angry and anxious. He said in a low voice, "Dad, just now boss won this fatty's money." Feng Yun looked at Tang Zheng with admiration and said, "Jiang Dali, so you lost a little Tang in gambling. Didn't you always brag that your card skills are unparalleled? I think this is too much of an exaggeration." "Hang, this brat is just lucky." "Feng Yun, it seems that you will be participating in the auction later. Be careful not to get hit. Thank you for your good intentions, but you don't need to worry." Zhang Dali glanced at Tang Zheng again, and then left in a huff. Feng Yong looked at Jiang Dali's back and said, "Dad, who is this person? Too hateful. Just a clown. Come, let's go in." Tang Zheng and Feng Yong walked half a step behind Feng Yun. Feng Yong stuttered and said, "Boss, if you know that my family is in this business, will you look down on me?" Tang Zheng suddenly realized that it was because of this that he did not want to tell him. Tang Zheng coughed and said, "Feng Yong, there is no distinction between high and low in business. No one has the right to look down on you. I will also not look down on you. Do you understand?" Feng Yong seemed to understand but not fully nodded and said, "Boss, I understand." Feng Yun's mouth hooked up into a faint smile as he said in his heart, "Little Yong has always rejected this business. Perhaps Tang Zheng can change his mind." The auction hall was already filled with people. Tang Zheng and the others found a seat and sat down. Feng Yun introduced, "Ordinary Balance Courtyard's members are antique enthusiasts. Therefore, they will regularly hold auctions. In addition, antique enthusiasts will also conduct private transactions. After the auction, there will be a trade fair where everyone will take out their treasures or exchange them with others or sell them. The antiques in the auction will not be fake because the Ordinary Balance Courtyard will appraise them in advance. But in the trade fair, it is inevitable that there will be fakes because this is a private transaction. The Ordinary Balance Courtyard will only provide the location and will not guarantee the authenticity of the antiques." Feng Yong curled his lips and said, "The trade fair is purely a scam. The slightest bit of carelessness will cause an eyesore." "Eyesore?" Tang Zheng suspiciously said. "Yes, eyesore is a jargon. It means to buy a fake." Feng Yong explained. "After the auction, you can go take a look at the trade fair. If you are lucky, you can also find some treasures," Feng Yun suggested. Feng Yong's eyes lit up and said, "Boss, your luck today is exploding. Who knows? Maybe you can even find some treasures." Tang Zheng smiled. He did not know anything about antiques. It was also unlike gambling where he had Tian Chanzi to cheat. How could he have such good luck? When the auction started, the handsome guy from the surveillance room came out and sat in the front row of the VIP seats. There were a total of 3 VIP seats in the auction hall. Only people with special status could sit there. Even the Ordinary Balance Courtyard's municipal committee secretary did not have the qualifications to sit there. Therefore, under normal circumstances, these 3 VIP seats were always empty. Everyone was trying to guess who this handsome guy was. He was unexpectedly treated as a VIP by the Ordinary Balance Courtyard. But he was clearly a new face and no one had a clue. The auctioneer walked up to the front stage and gave a welcome speech. The auction began. Tang Zheng had only seen this kind of scene on TV before. He was very interested and attentively watched the auction. The bidding was very fierce and the first item was sold for a high price. These auction items are all guaranteed by the Ordinary Balance Courtyard to guarantee their authenticity. Even if the price is a bit high, it will not be too eye-catching. Feng Yun carefully explained. "Dad, are you going to make a move today?" Feng Yong curiously asked. Feng Yun said, "Let's first see if there are any treasures worth bidding for. The next item's specific age cannot be verified. But it is definitely an antique. This is an ancient Taoist's alchemy furnace. The starting price is 500,000. The auctioneer loudly said as he pointed to a simple and unadorned alchemy furnace that was half the height of a person. "Can't be verified?" The crowd began to discuss. This argument had never been made in the Ordinary Balance Courtyard. After all, the Ordinary Balance Courtyard's strength was extraordinary and they had a specialized appraisal grandmaster. If the age cannot be verified, then the value of this item will be greatly reduced. Maybe it is a treasure. If someone were to buy it and take it back, they would make a huge profit. Maybe they would lose a lot of money. It's not like everyone doesn't know the Ordinary Balance Courtyard's appraisal grandmaster. Since he was unable to identify the origin of this alchemy furnace, then how many other people would have the ability to do so? Yes, that's why it's best to be careful. Feng Yun shook his head. He clearly had no interest in this alchemy furnace. But when he turned his head, he discovered that Tang Zheng was staring at the alchemy furnace. His eyes were burning with passion. Feng Yong also discovered his strangeness and curiously asked, "Boss, why do your eyes look like you're looking at a beautiful woman? Aren't you a bit too thirsty?" Tang Zheng was indeed very thirsty because Tian Chanzi was already excitedly screaming, "Haha, the 9 revolving alchemy furnace. You actually encountered the 9 revolving alchemy furnace here. Little brat, you must obtain this treasure. You must obtain it." What kind of treasure is this 9 revolving alchemy furnace? The 9 revolving alchemy furnace is an earth-level treasure. It is a high-quality alchemy furnace. But I don't know why such a treasure would appear here. Heaven Monk was extremely puzzled, but it was immediately replaced by joy as he continued to speak. Let me tell you, magic treasures are divided into 4 levels. Heaven, Earth, Profound, and Yellow. Heaven-level magic treasures can be encountered but not sought after. So Earth-level magic treasures are extremely precious. In the past, many people died trying to snatch the 9 revolving alchemy furnace. I never thought that it would be so easy for you, little brat. Hey, even I am a bit envious of your luck. Tang Zheng's head moved. He had already seen the wonders of alchemy, so he attached great importance to alchemy. It was just that he had never encountered a suitable alchemy furnace. Now that he encountered such a treasure, he would definitely not let it go. Boss, you wouldn't want to buy this dark and swarthy alchemy furnace, right? Feng Yong asked in surprise. Feng Yun saw this and hurriedly advised. Little Tang, this thing is too mysterious and the uncertainty is too great. It is very likely that you will suffer a loss. You should be careful. Tang Zheng said. Careful my ass. This kind of treasure can only be encountered but not sought. I must obtain it. Chapter 52. The bidding for the 9 revolving pill furnace began with a starting bid of 500,000. Someone bid 600,000 and soon another bid 650,000. After that, no one else raised their paddle. It was clear that everyone had the same concerns as Feng Yun. The auctioneer was a bit embarrassed as this was completely different from the previous intense atmosphere. 650,000 going once. Are there any higher bids? No one answered. 650,000 going twice. When Tang Zheng saw this, he was secretly delighted. These people did not know what was good for them, so he had profited. 660,000. Tang Zheng raised his paddle. The auctioneer raised his eyebrows and said, 660,000, is there still a bid? Tang Zheng was nervous to death as he silently prayed that no one else would bid. The handsome guy in the VIP section turned his head to look at Tang Zheng, his eyes slightly fluctuating. 660,000 going once, 660,000 going twice, 660,000 going thrice, sold. The auctioneer made the final call and the 9 revolving pill furnace belonged to Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng let out a sigh of relief as the feeling of picking up a bargain was truly wonderful. Feng Yun secretly sighed as Tang Zheng was still too young and impulsive. Feng Yong suspiciously looked at Tang Zheng and asked, Boss, is there something special about this furnace? Sigh. After interacting with Tang Zheng for a while, Feng Yong knew that Tang Zheng would not speak without thinking. Seeing him attach so much importance to this furnace, he began to have doubts in his heart. This furnace is useless to others, but it is very useful to me. Tang Zheng said with satisfaction. Boss, you're not a Taoist. Could it be that you still want to refine pills? Feng Yong had a suspicious look on his face. Tang Zheng faintly smiled and declined to comment. When the auction ended, Feng Yun did not make a move as if there was nothing that interested him. He was rather regretful and unwillingly said, Let's go take a look at the trade fair and see if there are any treasures worth buying. The trade fair was in a small hall with many stalls. It was a bit like an antique street, but a bit more advanced. You two go play by yourselves, remember not to run around. Feng Yun excitedly said and then went to Taba. Boss, there are too many fakes here. You have to be careful. Tang Zheng smiled and said, I'm not a rich man like you. Why would I act recklessly? Boss, I'm actually a poor man. My dad is rich, but that doesn't mean I'm rich. Moreover, you were much more generous than me just now. 660,000. I've never bought anything that expensive before. Let's go, let's take a look around. Oh right, is there anyone selling jade here? Yes, but they are all ready-made polished jade wares. There are no raw stones or the like. I want the finished product. Since he had cultivated a defensive array formation, Tang Jing naturally wanted to carve the array formation into a jade stone and give it to someone important to him. Little brother, you want to buy a jade artifact? Suddenly, a person stood beside the two of them and asked with interest. Tang Zheng was slightly stunned and looked at the person in surprise. This person was actually the handsome guy who was sitting in the VIP seat earlier. Yes, Tang Jing said. Regarding jade artifacts, I only know a little. I can give you a little reference. The handsome guy said with a smile. If that's the case, then many thanks. Tang Zheng lightly said. The smile in the handsome guy's eyes became wider and said, I still haven't asked how I should address you? My name is Tang Zheng. Good name. The handsome guy praised. I'm Song Yu. Oh, it seems you have a lot of affinity with jade. Tang Zheng said. My mother is obsessed with jade, so she gave me this name. Song Yu explained. Tang Zheng nodded. Like his name, he really was like a piece of warm jade, sparkling and translucent. This is my good brother Feng Yong. Hello. Song Yu nodded reservedly. Obviously, he didn't have much interest in Feng Yong. The several people arrived in front of a jade artifact stall. The boss hurriedly greeted them and warmly asked, What would you like to buy? A few simple jade ornaments. Here are jade buckles, jade guanyin, jade Buddha, jade bracelets, etc. What do you need? Men wear guanyin and women wear Buddha. I can buy a jade guanyin for grandfather and a jade Buddha for Shirshir. Alright, I can also buy a jade Buddha for Yi Dingdang. After all, she is still being secretly coveted. Tang Zheng had an idea. He went straight to the point and said, Boss, pick a jade guanyin and 2 jade Buddhas for me. In addition, Feng Yong, what do you like? I'll give you one. Ah, give it to me? Feng Yong was surprised. He didn't think that he would also have a share. Seeing that Tang Zheng didn't seem to be joking, he quickly said, I'll buy it myself. He knew that Tang Zheng wasn't well off. Although he won 900,000 today, he spent it quickly. I said I'll give it to you. Don't be long-winded. Okay, I want a jade buckle. Mr. Song, then I'll have to trouble you to help me check. Tang Zheng didn't know anything about jade, so he could only ask Song Yu for help. Song Yu faintly smiled and directly picked the corresponding jade from the counter. The boss's eyes lit up as he said, Mr. really is an expert. Boss, how much is the total here? Tang Zheng asked. The total is 4,600,000. I'll give a discount so it's 4,500,000. What? 4,500,000? Tang Zheng was dumbstruck. This was too expensive. Song Yu's eyes flashed with a strange light. 4,500,000 in his eyes was just a small amount of money. He didn't think that Tang Zheng would have such a big reaction. When he saw him by the pill furnace without even blinking, Song Yu thought that he was a young master from some family. It seems like he guessed wrong. Mister, this price is absolutely fair. This mister is an expert, so he should know that we didn't give a false price. The boss pointed at Song Yu and said. Song Yu nodded his head, acknowledging the boss's words. Tang Zheng's face revealed a difficult expression as he said, I only have 240,000. It's not even enough. Let's buy a few cheap ones. The boss's smile didn't fade as he said, we also have cheap ones. 240,000 is enough to buy 4 pieces of jade. Song Yu didn't bat an eyelid as he picked out 4 pieces of cheap jade for Tang Zheng. After Tang Zheng paid for them, the money he won today was completely used up. He once again became poor. Feng Yong, leave your safety buckle with me for now. I'll give it to you 2 days later. Tang Zheng said. No problem. Boss, you can leave it for as long as you want. Song Yu was stunned as he looked at Tang Zheng. In his heart, he was wondering why he didn't just give it to him. Why did he have to bring it back? But he didn't ask. After all, both sides weren't too familiar with each other. Mr. Song, thank you for picking out the jade for me. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Song Yu discovered many unusual things about Tang Zheng and said, Why don't we eat together? No need. If fate wills it, we'll meet again. Tang Zheng indifferently looked at the distant Qin Lao. His eyes shrunk as he left with Feng Yong. Qin Lao stood in front of Song Yu and asked, Young master, did you see anything? He's a bit special. But as for what it is, I can't say. Song Yu suspiciously said. This youngster is very interesting. Young master, you definitely won't be able to guess where he came from.
Oh, which family's young master is he?
Song Yu curiously asked. Qin Lao smiled as he shook his head and said, No, he's just an ordinary person. He's not from any family. Today he was brought in by the little brat beside him. Ordinary person? Song Yu was shocked. From Tang Zheng's temperament and style, he didn't seem to be from an ordinary family. Qin Lao saw the doubt in Song Yu's heart and said, He's indeed a bit strange. But no matter how strange he is, he's just an ordinary person. He's not a martial artist. Why does young master value him so much? Song Yu muttered, There must be a demon behind this abnormality. Moreover, I have a strong premonition that he and I will definitely meet again. Qin Lao shook his head and smiled bitterly. Young master was young and impetuous. Sometimes his thoughts were too unconstrained. He came to the ordinary balance for important matters. How could he have any interactions with Tang Zheng? On the way back, Tang Zheng kept recalling Qin Lao's appearance. Others didn't notice Qin Lao's peculiarity, but Tian Chanzi saw it clearly. Qin Lao was actually a 5th grade post-celestial stage expert. Uncle Feng, do you know who Song Yu is sitting in the VIP seats today? Tang Zheng curiously asked. Feng Yun was stunned and said, He's called Song Yu?
Feng Yong hurriedly said, Yes, he said it himself.
Feng Yun pondered for a moment and said, The owner of the Ordinary Balance Courtyard is also surnamed Song. Could it be that this Song Yu is a member of the Song family? Is the Song family very powerful? Tang Zheng asked. Feng Yun nodded and solemnly said, The Song family can't simply be described as powerful. This family not only has an extraordinary image in the business world, but also in the political and military world. It's like a super aircraft carrier. So powerful. Tang Zheng couldn't help but be speechless. Feng Yong also opened his eyes wide and exclaimed, No wonder the Ordinary Balance Courtyard is still standing. So the boss is so powerful. Boss, just now Song Yu wanted to treat you to a meal. Why did you refuse? Tang Zheng lightly said, I'm not familiar with him. Feng Yun looked at Tang Zheng in shock. He actually made Song Yu take the initiative to invite him. This honor was really amazing. Feng Yun couldn't help but secretly sigh and thought, This Tang Zheng is definitely not a fish in a pond. In the future he will definitely soar to the sky. Little Yong being on good terms with him may be a great opportunity for the Feng family. At this moment, Feng Yun's impression of Tang Zheng underwent a huge change. The Song family's roots are in Beijing. The Ordinary Balance Courtyard is only an insignificant property of the Song family. However, the Song family rarely comes to the Ordinary Balance. Why did this Song Yu come to the Ordinary Balance?
Feng Yun doubtfully muttered to himself.
Dad, why do you care about this? No matter how powerful the Song family is, it has nothing to do with us. Feng Yong said. Feng Yun shook his head and didn't say anything. How could Feng Yong understand his good intentions? If he could form a connection with the Song family, then his company would experience a qualitative leap. Little Tang, since Song Yu doesn't have any ill intentions, if there is a chance, you can try to get in touch with her. Feng Yun said. If Tang Zheng was able to obtain the appreciation of the Song family, then for Tang Zheng it would definitely be a great thing. Tang Zheng declined to comment. Right now he and Song Yu were people from 2 different worlds. There was no need to think too much about the relationship between the two. His top priority was to engrave the formation into the jade artifact he bought. Chapter 53. There were tens of thousands of defensive formations, but with Tang Zheng's current strength, he could only use the simplest defensive formation, which was to inject his true qi into the jade stone. When attacked, the formation would automatically activate and his true qi would attack, thus achieving the effect of a defensive formation. Under the night sky, Tang Zheng's fingers moved and a complex array was engraved into the jade artifact. Then, he immediately activated his martial arts and poured his true qi into the jade artifact. The jade artifact emitted a white luster, and then in a flash, disappeared into the jade artifact. Tang Zheng let out a long breath. This seemingly simple process consumed most of his true qi. This engraving formation is really not an easy task. He could not help but sigh. Of course, if it was easy, then there would not be so many mediocre people in this world. Tian Chanzi said, With your skills, you can only engrave one formation per night, so these 4 gifts will take you 4 nights. After you finish this, you can cultivate your true chi and then try to refine pills. What you need the most right now is the spirit pill. It can gather the spiritual energy of heaven and earth for your own use and quickly increase your cultivation. He had already bought the 9 revolving pill furnace, so refining pills was not a difficult task. He turned his head and looked at the 9 revolving pill furnace in a wooden box in the corner, and could not help but feel a little excited. After the holidays, he went to class during the day and engraved formations at night. 3 days later, the formations of the 4 jade artifacts were all completed. Sure, this jade Buddha is for you. In the small forest on campus, Tang Zheng and Feng Shisher were enjoying a sweet couple's world. Feng Shisher looked at the jade Buddha in her hand in surprise filling her heart. You're giving me a gift? Of course. Remember to bring it with you. When I'm not by your side, it will replace me to accompany you. Tang Zheng said. Feng Shisher nodded and said, Tang Zheng, you're really too good. Saying this, she threw herself into his embrace, raised her head, and gently kissed him on the cheek. Tang Zheng's heart seemed to melt as he hugged her tightly. I'll definitely take it with me. I'll take it to class, eat, and sleep with it, just like you're always with me. Feng Shisher's lips curled up as she said sweetly. I suddenly realized that you've grown taller. Suddenly, Feng Shisher pointed at their heads and said curiously. Tang Zheng was stunned for a moment. He was originally only 1.7 meters tall, and Feng Shisher was 1.65 meters tall. There was not much difference, but now he was half a head taller than her. He was at least 1.75 meters tall. Could this also be due to the cultivation of the ancient clear heaven scroll? Yes, this was the benefit of cultivation. His body had been cleansed, and his bones had been tempered. His growth rate had increased, and his height had naturally increased. Don't you like it when I grow taller? Of course I do. The 2 people returned to the classroom hand in hand. Tang Zheng had just sat down when Yi Dingdang could not help but glance at him. She knew that he must have gone to meet with Feng Shisher. Yi Dingdang, I'll give you a present. Tang Zheng took out the jade Buddha that he had prepared. You're giving me a present? Yi Dingdong's eyes widened in astonishment. Tang Zheng nodded and said, Yes, don't look down on it. It's not anything valuable. It's just a token of my sincerity. Boss, don't be modest. This jade Buddha is worth $60,000. How could it be worthless? Feng Yong came up and volunteered, and said without stopping. $60,000? Yi Dingdang exclaimed, I can't accept such a valuable gift. She was very clear about Tang Zheng's family. $60,000 was definitely not a small amount. Moreover, one should not accept a reward without doing any work. If I tell you to take it, then take it. Tang Zheng put the jade Buddha into her hands without any hesitation. Feng Yong also persuaded, That's right. This is boss sincerity. Look, I also have one. He said as he took out the safety bracelet around his neck. Tang Zheng looked at Tang Zheng suspiciously. Just what did he want to do? Give her such a valuable gift. Moreover, it was more than one. I heard that jade can protect one's safety. Didn't you encounter danger last time? So I bought one for you. Tang Zheng explained. Jade can protect one's safety? Yi Dingdang did not know whether to laugh or cry. If jade really had such a function, then wouldn't it be crazily fought over? She looked at him with shining eyes, not knowing what he was planning. What are you being so fussy about? Just remember to always wear it. Tang Zheng did not want to be long-winded with her and directly reminded her. The bell for class rang and Lu Qingmei walked in. Yi Dingdang did not have the chance to refuse and could only resentfully put away the jade Buddha. Lu Qingmei's face was not good. There was a trace of anger between her eyebrows as she said, The results of this mock exam are out. Most of the students in our class have improved. Congratulations to everyone. Everyone was beaming with joy and secretly clenched their fists. This period of hard work was not in vain. I want to praise student Feng Yong. He has improved the most. Feng Yong excitedly stood up and said, This is the result of the teacher's teaching. In addition, it is also inseparable from my boss Tang Zheng's detailed review plan. Otherwise, it would be impossible for me to improve so quickly. Everyone's gaze swept towards Tang Zheng. So Feng Yong's improvement was also due to him. They did not know how his results were this time. Many people had this thought but were too embarrassed to ask. However, there was one person who asked, Takashi. This was because he already knew about Tang Zheng's results from a reliable source, so he deliberately wanted to humiliate him. Tang Zheng had humiliated him many times. He was not Tang Zheng's opponent, so this time he wanted to openly humiliate Tang Zheng. Teacher Lu, since Feng Yong praised Tang Zheng so much, I wonder how his results were this time. He must have once again gotten first place in the school. Takashi said with a smile that did not reach his eyes. That's right. Teacher Lu, how were Tang Zheng's results this time? The others also curiously asked. Lu Qingmei's face became even more gloomy. She looked at Tang Zheng with disappointment and saw that his expression was normal as if nothing had happened. She could not help but secretly sigh. She changed the topic and said, Okay, now let's begin the explanation of this time's exam. Seeing Lu Qingmei change the topic, many people already understood that Tang Zheng's results were not ideal. They could not help but look at him with pity. It seems that there was no hope for him to rise again. Takashi saw that his goal was not achieved and unwillingly said, Teacher Lu, why didn't you mention Tang Zheng's results? Him getting first place in the school is the pride of our class and can encourage everyone to improve. Tang Zheng looked at Takashi with ridicule. How could he not understand his sinister intentions? However, how could this kind of thing affect him? Looking at his proud appearance was like looking at a clown. Although student Tang Zheng's results did not improve, I believe that he will continue to work hard. Lu Qingmei vaguely said. Haha, so he is still in last place. The other students have improved but he is still in last place. Hey, this really is an eye-opener. Takashi loudly laughed. He proudly glanced at Tang Zheng. He thought that he would see Tang Zheng fly into a rage. However, he discovered that Tang Zheng was calm and collected. His heart was startled as he suddenly felt a sense of powerlessness. It was as if he used all his strength to hit the air. Stop talking. Lu Qingmei suddenly shouted and began to explain the questions. Tang Zheng, you don't seem to have any thoughts about your results? Yi Dingdang curiously asked. What thoughts do I have about being in last place? Don't tell me I have to give an award speech? Tang Zheng said self-deprecatingly. Your martial arts are so powerful. How could you be in last place? Yi Dingdang was puzzled. If she had not met Tang Zheng before, she would not have doubted that he was in last place. However, the more she interacted with Tang Zheng, the more she felt that he was not ordinary. For such an extraordinary person to be in last place, even if she was beaten to death she would not believe it. My head was injured and my memory is not good. Don't you know? You can even open up my dad's meridians. Don't tell me you can't heal your own injuries? Tang Zheng smiled and did not explain further. He said, Who knows, maybe one day I will be enlightened again. After class, Lu Qingmei came in front of Tang Zheng. She knocked on his desk and seriously said, Tang Zheng, come with me to the office. After the two figures disappeared from the office, the classroom was filled with discussion. Takashi said, Tang Zheng is dragging us down again. This is an insult to our class. Feng Yong angrily stood up and said, Takashi, no one will treat you as a mute if you don't speak. Haha, last place little brother. What I say is none of your business. Boss's wisdom is not something you can compare to. Yeah, he is too powerful. I really can't compare to the last place in wisdom. Haha. Shut up. Yi Dingdang suddenly shouted loudly, causing Gao Deji to shut his mouth in dissatisfaction, and secretly hatefully said, Even the last place has so many people protecting him, what the F***ck in the office, Lu Qingmei sighed and said. Tang Zheng, your results this time are very bad. Do you know that? Tang Zheng did not say a word. I know that you have been distracted by your grandfather's matter. But this is not an excuse. The other students have all improved but you are the only one who has not made any progress. Moreover, this kind of influence is not good. The school has already made a decision regarding your problem. What decision? Tang Zheng, I really don't want to see this kind of situation happen. I have also fought for it with the school, but... Lu Qingmei shook her head in regret. Are they going to expel me? Tang Zheng suspiciously asked. They want you to make up for the 3 years of tuition. Otherwise they will expel you. Lu Qingmei said that Pangcheng International School's tuition was very expensive. The tuition for 3 years was close to 100,000 yuan. For Tang Zheng's family, this was an astronomical figure. Make up for the tuition, otherwise they will expel me? Yes, this is the school's decision. If you have any difficulties, I still have some money here. You can borrow some from your relatives to make up for the tuition. Then take advantage of the next 2 months to work hard and see if you can improve your grades. Improve his grades? Haha, Lu Qingmei, you really have a lot of confidence in him. Suddenly, Wu Zuihong's ear-piercing laughter rang out. Chapter 54. Wu Zuihong's sarcasm caused Lu Qingmei to frown and say, Teacher Wu, don't go too far. Don't think that I don't know that this time it was you who played tricks behind the scenes. If it wasn't for you repeatedly making requests to the school, would the school make such a decision on Tang Zheng? Wu Zuihong coldly laughed and said, I am doing this for the school's benefit. Is there a problem? Is there a need for you to target Tang Zheng like this? Am I targeting him? Haha, what I said is the truth. He is dead last and the school's resources are wasted on him. Wu Zuihong disdainfully said. The school's responsibility is to educate and not to give up on any student. Even if you want to educate, the other party must be a promising talent. Tang Zheng is such a useless person. Letting him take the college entrance exam is an insult to the college entrance exam. Tang Zheng indifferently looked at Wu Zuihong and said, Old witch, you said that me taking the college entrance exam is an insult to the college entrance exam. Then what is not an insult to the college entrance exam? Lu Qingmei looked at Tang Zheng in astonishment. She did not think that after receiving such unbearable treatment, he could still be so calm. Of course it is to get good grades and enter a good university. Then what are your so-called good grades? Haha, in any case it won't be your dead last result. If I wasn't dead last in the college entrance exam, what would you say? If you weren't dead last, then what's the difference between dead last and dead last? Wu Zuihong ridiculed. Then what about being first in the school? First in the school, haha, so you are this arrogant. Do you want to be first in the school? If you are able to get first in the school, then You what? I will admit that I have eyes but cannot see and am not fit to be a teacher. Good. If I am able to get first in the school, then you will be kicked out of the teaching team because you are not fit to be a teacher. I promise you, but you won't have the chance. Wu Zuihong was full of confidence and complacency. But if you don't get first place in the school, I want you to kowtow to me in front of all the teachers and students. With so many teachers as witnesses today, I believe that you won't go back on your word. Let's wait and see. We'll see after the college entrance exam. Tang Zheng gave a strange smile. This smile made Wu Zuihong startled, and an uneasy feeling rose in her heart for no reason. Why would I have such an absurd feeling? He's just a useless person. Maybe he'll make some progress, but how can he be the first in school? That's impossible. Moreover, he has to collect more than 100,000 yuan in tuition fees within a week to not be expelled. Otherwise, he won't even be able to take part in the college entrance exam. So how can he be the first? With his family's situation, 100,000 yuan was simply an astronomical figure. Even if he sold everything in his family, it wouldn't be worth that much money. So, I definitely won. Tang Zheng, you've gone against me so many times. Just wait until you kowtow to me and admit your wrongs. Haha. Wu Zuihong proudly thought. Lu Qingmei didn't even have time to interject before the two agreed on this bet. Lu Qingmei secretly sighed. Tang Zheng was too young and impetuous. How could he recklessly bet on this kind of thing? Tang Zheng, you're really too impatient. I'll privately go find Teacher Wu and see if he can cancel this bet. Lu Qingmei obviously didn't want to see Tang Zheng be humiliated in the future. Teacher Lu, there's no need. Don't tell me you don't believe in me? Tang Zheng winked at her. Lu Qingmei was startled. From Tang Zheng's eyes, she saw a strong self-confidence. It was as if the school's first place was within his reach. Lu Qingmei shook her head. This was definitely an illusion. She firmly said, Tang Zheng, this isn't a child's play. Since you don't want to cancel the bet, then I, as a teacher, will do my part. From today onwards, after school, I'll give you extra lessons. Extra lessons? Teacher Lu, there's no need. Of course. I've said before that I won't give up on any student. You are my student, so of course I won't give up on you. But Tang Zheng, I still want to make it clear to you. These 2 months will be very hard on you, but you will reap the rewards of your hard work. So persevere. Lu Qingmei encouraged. Tang Zheng bitterly smiled. His time was already tight and he didn't expect that she would take up a portion of it. But he also couldn't refuse her good intentions. Wait for me after school. I'll take you to my home for extra lessons. Home? Of course it's home. If you take extra lessons at school and the other students see that I'm giving you special treatment, they will definitely complain. Oh, I got it. Tang Zheng dejectedly walked out of the office. Tian Chanzi's voice suddenly sounded, "Little brat, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Now that your skills have advanced by leaps and bounds, you need even more purine energy to balance your body. Also, you don't have any plans to eat that girl Feng Shishir. So, spend more time with Lu Qingmei and absorb her purine energy. It will be very beneficial for you." Lu Qingmei had a mysterious yin body. The purine energy in her body was much richer than Feng Shishir's and Yi Dingdong's. It was also much more beneficial for Tang Zheng. Tian Chanzi, how can your thoughts be so dirty? How are you like an expert cultivator? Tang Zheng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How is my thoughts dirty? I'm doing this for your sake, okay? Humph, a dog biting Lu Dongbin. You don't recognize my good intentions. Anyway, I'm telling you, you can't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You must absorb more of her purine energy. If you can have some physical contact with her, that would be even better. Tian Chanzi wouldn't let go of any opportunity to make Tang Zheng stronger. I've spent all my money. What should I do about the 100,000 or so yuan tuition? Tang Zheng didn't expect that he would have to worry about money so soon. If he hadn't been so extravagant in the ordinary balance courtyard a few days ago, the tuition wouldn't have been a problem at all. Forget it, I can't think of a good way at the moment. Anyway, there's still a week. If there's really no way in the end, I'll just go to the ordinary balance courtyard's casino and win another 100,000. This is a small amount, so it shouldn't arouse suspicion. Tang Zheng returned to the classroom. Everyone looked at him with a complicated expression. Most of them were pity and sympathy. Boss, with your level, how can you only get such a small score? There must be a problem with the grading teacher. Let's go check the papers. Feng Yong said indignantly. Feng Yong, there's no problem. I only got such a small score. Feng Yong was dumbstruck. Only after a while did he say, how is that possible? Nothing is impossible. Then what did teacher Lu call you for? She said she wanted to tutor me? F***ck, that's too good. She's going to tutor you alone? Feng Yong's eyes lit up. He couldn't believe it and was endlessly envious. Tang Zheng nodded his head and said, keep your voice down. Don't make this kind of thing public. Right, don't make it public. Feng Yong had a tacit understanding expression. Boss, I finally know why you only got such a small score. So it turns out you were planning far ahead. Did you already know that if your score was low, Teacher Lu would tutor you alone? This plan is too ingenious. How come I didn't think of it? Tang Zheng was dumbstruck. He didn't think that Feng Yong would think this way. Feng Yong prostrated himself in admiration. He continued to talk non-stop. Boss, actually everyone wants to interact with Teacher Lu more. After all, she is a super beauty. Her temperament and her beauty can make people's hearts surge. Hey, this time boss, you're in luck. Feng Yong, I really didn't think that way. Tang Zheng helplessly explained. Denying it is useless. Everyone is well aware of it. There's no need to explain. Feng Yong laughed. Yi Dingdang finally couldn't bear it anymore and turned her head. She coldly stared at the two and said, why are you guys' heads filled with such messy and dirty thoughts? I'm not. Tang Zheng hurriedly denied. Yi Dingdang gave a "you're so gullible" expression which made Tang Zheng speechless. Sister Dingdang, food and sex are part of human nature. This is human nature. Do you understand? Feng Yong said as if he didn't feel ashamed. Instead he felt proud. It's more like the nature of a pervert. After school, Tang Zhang told Feng Shishir about the tutoring. Feng Shishir was very happy. Chapter 55. The atmosphere instantly became awkward, and there was even a trace of ambiguity. Both of them were silent. This was the first time Tang Zhang saw a woman's underwear at such a close distance. His face immediately turned red. The black underwear quickly enlarged and jumped into his eyes and finally jumped into his heart. Lu Qingmei wished she could find a hole to hide in. She was used to living alone, so she was used to leaving her clothes in a mess. Moreover, no one came to her house, so it wasn't a problem. However, today Tang Zhang came and thus such an awkward situation occurred. Although Lu Qingmei was used to leaving her things in a mess, her memory was very good. She just finished tidying up her things and realized that she was missing a pair of underwear. Only then did she remember that she took it from the balcony and threw it on the sofa. That was why she asked Tang Zhang to stand up. She didn't expect that he would really sit on it. Seeing her bewildered appearance, Tang Zhang mysteriously picked up the underwear and asked, "Teacher Lu, are you looking for this?" God, he actually used his hand to pick up her underwear. That was her most private thing. Moreover, he touched the most private part of her body. She felt a strange feeling in her body. Lu Qingmei snatched the underwear and flew into the bedroom. Tang Zhang could even hear her breathing become hurried. Seeing her slightly embarrassed appearance, Tang Zhang couldn't help but laugh. So the ice goddess also had this side. If other people knew that I saw Teacher Lu's underwear, I wonder what they would think. However, the black underwear is really sexy. Moreover, it has lace. I wonder if she wears it. Tang Zhang didn't dare to continue thinking. As a virgin, this kind of scene was too stimulating. He could already feel his body having a reaction. A small tent was set up below. Cough cough. Lu Qingmei walked out again. Her face was still a bit red. Suddenly, her gaze was fixed on Tang Zhang's lower body. It was as if she was paralyzed. He actually had a reaction. Damn it! Tang Zhang realized his embarrassment and hurriedly sat down, finally covering up his ugly appearance. He's still a child after all. He's young and impetuous. I'll forgive him this time. Lu Qingmei took a deep breath and tried to control herself. Let's eat first, then we'll start tutoring. Lu Qingmei's attitude was much colder. She hoped to use this coldness to cover up the awkwardness just now. Tang Zhang used his inner energy to suppress his restless thoughts. The two of them had a simple dinner together and then began to make up for the missed lessons. Lu Qingmei was an English teacher. At first, Tang Zhang thought that she was only good at English. But when she started tutoring, he realized that he had underestimated her. Chinese, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology, she was proficient in all of them. She was even more lively and interesting than many of the teachers in this class. She must have been a top student back then, Tang Zhang guessed. But why did she want to be a teacher? Logically speaking, she's so good at studying and has a good family background. She could have done other jobs. Tang Zhang suppressed his curiosity. This was someone else's secret. He didn't have the right to ask. He didn't know that Lu Qingmei gradually had a lot of questions about him. Although Tang Zhang tried his best to hide his strength, he couldn't completely hide it. Lu Qingmei gradually realized that he was actually very smart. He didn't look like someone who got last place in the exam at all. I heard that his memory is getting worse, and he gets a headache when he thinks about problems. But why doesn't he have a headache when he's thinking about problems? Could it be he's deliberately hiding his strength? She was shocked by her own speculation. But why would he hide his strength? Don't all students want to get good grades? She realized that she didn't know Tang Zhang as well as she thought. He seemed to have a mysterious aura and a temperament. Although he had the inexperience of people his age, he had a calming feeling that made people involuntarily want to get close to him. Why do I have this kind of feeling? She was startled. Now that Tang Zhang had stepped into the third grade refining qi, his entire aura had undergone an earth-shattering change. Unknowingly, he had reached a state of harmony with the world around him. This naturally affected the people around him, causing them to feel a sense of tranquility. Okay, today's tutoring will end here. Go back and properly digest what you've learned today. I'll send you back. No need. This place isn't far from my home. I can walk back myself. Okay then. Go back and rest well. After sending off Tang Zhang, Lu Qingmei leaned against the door.
She breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Today I was looking for trouble for myself.
I hope he doesn't tell anyone about what happened today. Otherwise, I'll be embarrassed.
Hang if he dares to tell anyone, see how I'll deal with him."
AI. Tonight I must properly tidy up my room. In the future, I can't let today's problems happen again. Otherwise, my reputation will be ruined. When Tang Zhang returned home, his grandfather was very happy. This was because the teacher actually gave Tang Zheng tutoring. He believed that this was the teacher's love for Tang Zheng. He repeatedly urged him to study hard and not let down the teacher's painstaking efforts. First grade true fire is the dividing line between ordinary fire and true fire. Only true fire can refine pills. Of course, when true fire is cultivated to a certain level, it can also be used to defend against enemies. Everyone has a fire seed in their body. However, most people don't know the method to ignite the fire seed. I will now teach you the method to ignite the fire seed. Tian Chanzi passed on a mnemonic chant. Tang Zheng silently memorized it. According to the mnemonic chant, he guided his true qi to his dantian. His dantian suddenly became warm, just like a furnace. The fire seed is hidden in your dantian. It has no shadow and is invisible to the naked eye. However, it is there. Only when you ignite the fire seed will you be able to see a small ball of flame. The true qi in his 9 major meridians gathered in his dantian. Tang Zheng felt his body turn into a fireball. It was as if his body was going to burn. You have the 9 yang saint body. Your body has a lot of pure yang energy. Therefore, igniting the fire seed is a small matter. As long as you follow the mnemonic chant, there will be no problem. Tian Chanzi said. Hearing this, Tang Zheng was filled with confidence. After igniting the fire seed and cultivating true fire, he would be able to refine pills. With pills, he would be able to quickly increase his cultivation. The true qi in his dantian quickly flowed and rotated. Soon it formed a true qi vortex. Your true qi is sufficient. The fire seed will be ignited soon. Ha! What's going on? Tian Chanzi's voice suddenly changed. Where is your true qi? Why did your true qi disappear? He saw the true qi vortex that was rotating at high speed disappear into thin air. It was as if it had never appeared. His dantian became empty, without a trace of true qi. Tang Zheng was also stunned. Didn't Tian Chanzi say that igniting the fire seed would succeed? What is going on? Where did the true qi go? Where is the fire seed? Why can't I see a trace of fire? Tian Chanzi, is this what you meant by success? Tang Zheng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Since he started cultivating, every time he succeeded, it was completely beyond Tian Chanzi's expectations. But this time, Tian Chanzi was full of confidence, but he failed. How can this be? Igniting the fire seed isn't that difficult. How can you fail? You have the 9 yang saint body. Logically speaking, it should be easier for you to ignite the fire seed. Tian Chanzi was also stunned and confused. The true qi in Tang Zheng's body had almost disappeared, and he was not willing to fail like this, so he hurriedly urged his power, allowing the remaining true qi to enter his dantian. Shwa! The true qi was like a clay ox entering the sea, disappearing. This time, even the true qi vortex did not appear. It just disappeared into thin air like a magic trick. Tian Chanzi, quickly tell me, what happened to me? I don't know. You ask me, but who am I supposed to ask? No, this must be because you have the 9 yang saint body. Didn't you say that the 9 yang saint body was very awesome? How can you not do something as simple as this? Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Moreover, the 9 yang saint body has many secrets, so how would I know? Let's try again tomorrow. Who knows? Tian Chanzi stammered. Tang Jing secretly sighed. It seems that there is no way to get an answer from Tian Chanzi. Let's try again tomorrow. The next day, Lu Qingmei walked into the office. Her expression was normal, but her heart was apprehensive. She looked at her classmates from time to time and found that no one was looking at her strangely. Only then did she relax. It seems that Tang Zhang did not tell anyone about last night's embarrassing incident. Boss, how was your time with the teacher last night? Hee. After class, Feng Yong gossiped.
Nothing happened.
What do you mean nothing happened? A single man and a single woman in a room. Don't tell me nothing happened? Feng Yong asked expectantly. Tang Zhang subconsciously thought of the black underwear. His face was calm as he said, I say, what is your brain thinking all day? She is a teacher and I am a student. What could have happened? It's because they are teacher and student that it's exciting. Isn't it always like this in movies? Scram.
I find that you are more and more like an animal.
Ring ring ring. Tang Zheng's cell phone rang. It turned out to be Feng Xinyang's number. He looked at Yi Dingdang in surprise and picked up the phone. Hello, Auntie. Are you looking for me?
Little handsome brother, how are you recently?
Not bad.
Did you miss me?
AI, it seems like you didn't miss me. But as long as you miss my family's ding-dang, that's enough. Feng Xinyang generously said, Little handsome brother, let me tell you a big news. What news? Come to my house for dinner tonight and I will tell you. Auntie, I have been taking remedial classes recently. I don't have time. Tang Zhang could not stand her constantly trying to matchmake him and Yi Ding-dang, so he tactfully refused. You are so smart. Why do you still need remedial classes? Moreover, this matter is much more important than remedial classes. Little handsome brother, you must come. And today I don't have time to pick up Ding-dang. You have to escort her home. This. Chapter 56.
Feng Xinyang called you?
Yi Ding-dang asked curiously. Obviously, she heard Feng Xinyang's voice.
Yes, she asked me to go to your house for dinner.
What is she up to now?
She is your mother.
How would I know? She also said that she won't pick you up after school and asked me to go home with you. Yi Ding-dong's eyes rolled around. What was wrong with Feng Xinyang? No, she had to figure it out. She had experienced enough of her mother's whims, so she couldn't be at ease until she figured out the other party's intentions. However, when she called, Feng Xinyang directly refused to pick up. Later, when she called again, the other party directly turned off the phone. Feng Xinyang, if you dare to mess around, I will break up with you. Yi Ding-dang gritted her teeth and angrily thought. Taking advantage of the break after class, Tang Zhang went to the office to ask for leave from Lu Qingmei. He couldn't attend tonight's makeup class. Lu Qingmei kindly agreed. Tang Zhang didn't know that last night's thrilling makeup class made Lu Qingmei's heart not completely calm down. Tang Zheng's proposal was exactly what she wanted. After school, Tang Zheng and Yi Ding-dang took a taxi directly to Yi Ding-dong's home. As soon as they entered the door, Tang Zheng noticed that the atmosphere in the Ye family seemed to have changed. Scent, Yi Ding-dang also noticed. She curiously looked around and finally fixed her eyes on a luxury car in the parking lot. You have guests? The two walked into the living room and Feng Xinyang hurriedly greeted them. She grabbed Tang Zheng and nervously said, Little handsome brother, there's an emergency. What emergency? Tang Zheng was surprised by her appearance and had a stomach full of questions. Feng Xinyang, are you crazy again? You're the crazy one. You have no respect for your elders. I am your mother. You don't look like a mother at all. Yi Ding-dang speechlessly said. Feng Xinyang didn't have time to continue bickering with Yi Ding-dang and mysteriously said, Little handsome brother, this is related to your and Ding-dong's lifelong happiness. Don't you think it's an emergency? Tang Zhang found that the other party was talking more and more nonsense. He couldn't help but bitterly smile and said, Auntie, just say it. Why did you call me here in such a hurry? Didn't I say that this is related to your and Ding-dong's lifelong happiness? Someone came to our house to propose marriage. Propose? Tang Zheng and Yi Ding-dang coincidentally. Yes, this is a sudden attack. I also didn't expect it. But don't worry, I will definitely not agree to this matter. Ma, I am only 18 years old. What kind of marriage are you talking about? Is this something that you caused? Yi Ding-dang said in a flustered and exasperated manner. Regarding Feng Xinyang's ability to cause trouble, she was extremely clear. How can you be so suspicious of your mother? I've already chosen a little handsome brother. How could I introduce you to someone else?
This time the proposal was arranged by the old man.
Feng Xinyang said somewhat helplessly.
The fearless Feng Xinyang seemed to be in awe of this old man.
Grandfather? Yi Dingdang was speechless. Feng Xinyang helplessly nodded.
No, my happiness is my decision.
He is my grandfather, so he can't interfere with my private matters.
Yi Dingdang resolutely said. Moreover, after so many years, has he ever cared about me?
Now he suddenly ran out to arrange a blind date for me. Is there a grandfather like him?
Feng Xinyang rubbed Yi Dingdang's head and said, Dingdang, don't worry.
I will do my best to fight for you.
My daughter is so beautiful and obedient.
How can I let other people take advantage of her? Auntie, this has nothing to do with me, right?
How can this have nothing to do with you?
Dingdang is about to be snatched away by someone else. Can you just sit there and watch? I don't like what you're saying. Don't do it again. You're not allowed to say such things again. Now there is a way to resolve this situation. Do you want to hear it? Feng Xinyang asked with a smile. Tang Zheng was startled. From Feng Xinyang's smiling eyes, he had a bad premonition. What way?
Yi Dingdang impatiently asked.
What's done cannot be undone. What do you mean? If you are already engaged, do you think the old man will still have a way to arrange a marriage proposal? Feng Xinyang mysteriously smiled.
Yi Dingdang subconsciously shook her head and then blankly said, But the key point is that I am not engaged.
This is our family matter.
If we say there is, then there is.
That's still not right. Where are you going to find someone to be engaged to me? Hi hey, far away on the horizon but close in front of you. Little handsome brother, don't you have a ready-made candidate? Feng Xinyang's gaze fell on Tang Zheng.
No.
Tang Zheng loudly shouted. Yi Dingdang was dumbstruck. She never thought that Feng Xinyang would want Tang Zheng to be the scapegoat.
No, why did he refuse so quickly?
It's as if I'm ugly. She hatefully glared at Tang Zheng and asked, Tang Zheng, I haven't even said no. Why are you speaking so quickly? This method is simply not feasible. I am someone who has a girlfriend. You can break up with a girlfriend. This is an engagement. A fiancé is a level higher than a girlfriend. Feng Xinyang said. Hung, I didn't say that I was really engaged to you. It was just an act.
Yi Dingdang indignantly said.
But this.
No buts.
It's settled. Little handsome brother. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I don't mind making the act real. Feng Xinyang said with an evil smile. Tang Zheng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How could she push her daughter away like this? Was Yi Dingdang really her biological daughter? Tang Zheng, you have to agree to this matter whether you want to or not. Yi Dingdang weighed the pros and cons and decisively said. What if I don't agree?
Hung, you dare.
Little handsome brother, Jianghu is in an emergency. You have to have a chivalrous spirit. Feng Xinyang said. Tang Zheng shook his head. This kind of thing could only be done by this unreliable mother and daughter pair. However, just pretending to be a fiancé shouldn't be difficult. The study door suddenly opened and Yi Tianlei walked out with an old man and a young man. Nephew, although ordinary balance can't compare to Beijing, it still has its own beautiful scenery. You can play here for a few more days. Yi Tianlei said. Many thanks for uncle's concern. This time I will definitely stay for a few more days. This is also my father's intention. Dingdang, you're out of school. Quickly come and greet the guests. Yi Tianlei suddenly waved at Yi Dingdang and said. Yi Dingdang suspiciously sized up the guests. This old man and young man were definitely not ordinary people. Their temperaments were extraordinary, especially the old man who gave people a feeling of showing off. He was like an unsheathed sword, making people not dare to look at him directly. Little Tang, you also came. Come, let me introduce you to a few guests. Yi Tianlei also saw Tang Zheng. His heart slightly moved, and he glanced at Feng Xinyang. Feng Xinyang winked at him. It's them. Tang Zheng didn't expect to see Song Yu and that Qin Lao of the Ye family. The one who came to propose marriage is Song Yu. Song Yu's gaze swept past Yi Dingdong's face and finally landed on Tang Zheng's face. He was slightly startled and couldn't hide his surprise. Qin Lao also looked at Tang Zheng in surprise. He suddenly remembered that Song Yu had said that he had a premonition that he would see Tang Zheng again. He didn't expect to meet him so soon. This world was too small. But then the two immediately remembered Tang Zheng's identity. He came from an ordinary family, so how could he have any relationship with the Ye family? Moreover, it seemed that they were very close. Tang Zheng, we meet again. Song Yu smiled and extended his hand. Yes, this world is too small, Tang Zheng said as he shook his hand. You know each other? Yi Tianlei and Feng Xinyang were both shocked. They were most clear about Song Yu's identity. How could Tang Zheng have any relationship with him? We met a few days ago at Ordinary Balance's residence. Song Yu explained. Yi Tianlei and his wife suddenly understood. This must be Ding Dong's younger sister. As expected, her beauty is unparalleled. Song Yu said to Yi Dingdang. Yi Dingdang snorted and said, Who's your younger sister? Don't call me that. Dingdang, don't be rude. Yi Tianlei's face darkened as he scolded. Yi Dingdang pouted in a fit of pique. Song Yu said, Uncle, you can't blame Dingdang. I was rude. This is the first time I've met Dingdang. I really shouldn't have called her that. Dingdang, how are you? Let me introduce myself. My name is Song Yu. Our Song and Yi families have been friends for generations. You weren't in Beijing, so we haven't met before. But there will be many opportunities to meet in the future. I still don't know you. Yi Dingdong's tone was still as cold as ever. Song Yu was not angry and said in a lukewarm voice, Don't we know each other now? Dingdang, don't be rude. Yi Tianlei warned. He was afraid that Yi Dingdang would throw a tantrum again. Song Yu was not like other people. If she threw a tantrum with him, the gains would not make up for the losses. Yi Tianlei looked deeply at Song Yu and couldn't help but sigh. The successor that the Song family nurtured was indeed extraordinary. Although she was only in her 20s, her calm personality was not something that an ordinary person could compare to. With this kind of successor, the Song family would not have to worry about continuing to prosper. No wonder the old man arranged this marriage. Yi Tianlei knew that the old man's health was not what it used to be. He must find a strong ally for the Ye family. Marriage was undoubtedly a powerful method. But when Yi Tianlei saw Tang Zheng, he suddenly realized that his wife was using her actions to express her opposition. She did not approve of this marriage. Although Tang Zheng is a variable, if the old man is determined to settle this marriage, what other people can do to resist? Yi Tianlei thought helplessly. As a member of the Ye family, he was very clear about the old man's temper and strength. No one in the Ye family could resist the old man. Dad, if there's nothing else, I'll go back to my room with Tang Zheng first. Yi Dingdang suddenly intimately held onto Tang Zheng's arm like a couple glued to each other. You. Yi Tianlei opened his eyes wide. It seemed that things were more complicated than he thought. Chapter 57. Feng Xinyang stood in front of Tang Zheng, blocking his gaze that was as sharp as a sword. Qin Lao was slightly startled and anger appeared between his brows. Song Yu smiled lightly and asked, Tang Zheng, are you friends with Dingdang? He is my fiancé. Yi Dingdang raised her head as if to declare her sovereignty. Tang Zheng smiled bitterly to himself. Yi Dingdang had entered the role too quickly. He was definitely going to be the shield, but he didn't dislike it. He had a good relationship with the Ye family. Moreover, he didn't have a good impression of this kind of matchmaking. He didn't mind helping Yi Dingdang this once. However, he admired Song Yu's reaction. Even a blind person could see that he had a good relationship with Yi Dingdang, but Song Yu asked if they were friends. Yi Dingdang was also domineering. She directly lied and said that Tang Zheng was her fiancé. In an instant, the hall was so silent that you could hear a pin drop. The atmosphere became subtle. Even Yi Tianlei opened his eyes wide in shock. Obviously, he didn't expect Yi Dingdang to be so fierce. He looked at his wife again and saw a faint smile on her face. He suddenly understood. All of this must be his wife's idea. His wife never acted according to common sense.
Only she would dare to do such a shocking thing to go against the will of the old man.
This is going to be troublesome. Yi Tianlei was stuck in a dilemma. Fiancé? Song Yu looked at Tang Zheng and Yi Dingdang with a smile that wasn't a smile. Yi Dingdang hugged Tang Zheng's arm even tighter. It was as if she was afraid that Song Yu would notice something. Tang Zheng felt the softness on his arm and couldn't help but glance at her chest. In order to complete the scene, she didn't expect that the two of them would have such intimate physical contact. Tang Zheng, you're so lucky to have such a beautiful fiancé. Song Yu's voice was a little ethereal, so no one could tell what he was feeling. Tang Zheng knew that he couldn't back down now. Since the fake show had already started, he had to act according to the script. Moreover, he had to act more realistically. Therefore, Tang Zheng nodded politely and said, "Thank you. My luck has always been good." "How dare you!" Suddenly, Qin Lao couldn't hold it in any longer and shouted loudly. His voice was like a great bell, and the entire hall was filled with this voice. It was like the rumbling of thunder, causing people to feel dizzy. Yi Tianlei's expression changed slightly. "Qin Lao." Qin Lao coldly snorted. His gaze was like a sword as he looked at Tang Zheng. However, his gaze was blocked by Feng Xinyang. Song Yu was separated by Feng Xinyang so she couldn't clearly see Tang Zheng's reaction. However, an ordinary person would definitely be shaken by this lion's roar. In serious cases, they might even suffer internal injuries. Tang Zheng naturally wasn't injured. Firstly, Feng Xinyang had neutralized most of the lion's roar's power. Secondly, he had the ancient clear heaven scroll to protect his body. "Tang Zheng, we finally meet again. Why don't we have a good chat? I believe we will have a lot to talk about." Song Yu continued. "We're tired. We'll go back to our rooms first." How could Yi Dingdang allow them to be alone? What if Tang Zheng exposed themselves? So without any explanation, she pulled Tang Zheng into her room. Yi Tianlei couldn't help but secretly shake his head. How did things become like this? He was the only one who could clean up this mess.
He forced out a smile and said, "Nephew Dingdang is too headstrong.
Please don't take offense." Song Yu smiled and shook her head. Dingdang is still young. It's normal for her to be headstrong. Who doesn't have headstrong moments? "Uncle, what do you think?" When Yi Tianlei heard this, he didn't know what to say.
Yi Tianlei, what is going on?"
Qin Lao couldn't help but ask. "This." Before Yi Tianlei could think of an explanation, Song Yu spoke first. "Uncle, we have just arrived. Can we stay in Uncle's house for a few days?"
"This, of course you can."
Yi Tianlei hesitated for a moment before agreeing. This was a reasonable request. If he didn't agree, then he would be too unreasonable. Feng Xinyang's gaze changed slightly. She looked at Song Yu thoughtfully. Yi Tianlei ordered people to bring Song Yu and Qin Lao away to rest. "Feng Xinyang, you're too daring. Look at what you've done this time. How are you going to clean up this mess?" Yi Tianlei said angrily. "I've always been daring. Didn't you know that when you chased me that year? Moreover, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. This is a natural development. Naturally, there will be an outcome. Why would I need to spend energy thinking about how to clean up this mess?" Feng Xinyang said without a care. Yi Tianlei shook his head and smiled bitterly. "How could it be as simple as you think? How are we going to get past the old man? What about the Song family's face? What does the Song family's face have to do with me? I'm not part of the Song family."
"As for the old man, he didn't care about us before, but now he's using my daughter's happiness as a bargaining chip in exchange for the family's benefits. Don't say any more."
Yi Tianlei's face sank.
"The old man is the head of the Ye family after all.
He's my father. Naturally, he has a lot of things to consider." "Yes, he does have a lot of things to consider. When you were forced to leave Jing City, did he consider that he was your father? You know how helpless we were back then. Moreover, he didn't even look at Dingdang. Now he's going to marry her to someone else. Has he considered our feelings? Has he considered Dingdong's feelings?" Feng Xinyang argued. Yi Tianlei was speechless.
He let out a long sigh and said, "He doesn't have much time left, so he has no choice but to make these arrangements."
"What, he doesn't have much time left?" Isn't he about to break through to the martial scholar realm? Feng Xinyang turned pale with fright.
Yi Tianlei shook his head and said, his last attempt to break through to the martial scholar realm failed and he almost went crazy. That's why he doesn't have much time left. Of all the major families in Jing City, only the Ye family doesn't have a martial scholar expert. If the old man isn't here, then the Ye family.
Feng Xinyang didn't continue, but her meaning was clear. Yi Tianlei nodded and said, that's right.
That's why the old man chose to marry the Song family, who has always had a good relationship with him.
The Ye family doesn't only have Ding Dang as a girl. Isn't there also your elder brother's daughter? You also know that her reputation in Jing City has always been bad. How could the old man let her marry the Song family?
Wouldn't that be the opposite of what he wanted?
But I heard that the girl was very willing. She even made a big fuss several times because of this matter, but the old man never agreed. In any case, I won't agree to this matter. No matter who it is, I won't give face to. My daughter's happiness is in her own hands. Feng Xinyang still refused to budge an inch. Things have already become like this. How could I not know what you're thinking? But I don't know how to explain it to the old man.
Back then, because you were injured and your meridians were blocked, you were judged to be unable to reach the Xiantian realm.
Then you were forced to leave Jing City. A while ago, we thought that since you had already broken through to the Xiantian realm, you could return to Jing City. After all, this was your long-cherished wish. But today, with this matter, I have completely lost interest in returning to Jing City. I feel that ordinary balance is also not bad. In the future you can peacefully develop in ordinary balance. Yi Tianlei was silent and said, let's first get through this hurdle. In fact, all of this is because the old man doesn't have much time left.
If the old man can persist for a few more years, then all of this will be easily resolved.
Defying the heavens and changing one's fate. I've heard of this kind of thing, but where can I find someone with this kind of divine ability? Feng Xinyang said with emotion.
Song Yu stood up, quietly looking out the window at the tranquil beauty of the Ye family manor under the setting sun. Qin Lao stood behind him and asked puzzledly, young master, why did you stop me from questioning Yi Tianlei just now? Song Yu didn't even turn his head and said, Qin Lao, some things will become passive if they are exposed, do you understand?
What do you mean? This old man doesn't understand.
Haha, when Ding Dang introduced Tang Zhang as her fiancé, didn't you see Uncle Ye's expression?
What expression did he have?
Shocked. Qin Lao's heart trembled and he said, young master, you're saying that he also doesn't know about this matter, so, this is all fake.
Most likely.
So if we were to insist on pursuing this matter, it would force the other party to confirm this fake marriage and we would become passive. Right now, let's not talk about this matter and stay with the Ye family for a few days. They will naturally reveal some clues and everything will fall apart. Young master is still the most thoughtful. This old man was stupid.
Qin Lao said with admiration.
Song Yu faintly smiled. Haha, actually many things will be completely different if you take a step forward. Moreover, Tang Zhang is a child of an ordinary family. How could he be related to the Ye family by marriage? But my eyes were not wrong. He is indeed not simple. Perhaps we have seen too much of him on the surface. He must have many things that we don't know about.
Young master, do you still need me to investigate him?
Song Yu waved his hand and said, no need, since he doesn't want others to know, then he naturally has the corresponding methods. Continuing to investigate will only lead to more false impressions. I trust my own eyes more. As he said this, he pointed to his own eyes, bursting with strong confidence. In Yi Dingdong's boudoir, Tang Zhang couldn't help but look around. Her room was very neat and tidy, without a speck of dust. Presumably, there was someone who tidied and cleaned it every day. The style of the room was more robust than a normal girl's room, especially the words hanging at the head of the bed. It was a large-framed martial character, showing her infatuation with martial arts.
You like martial arts that much?
Tang Jing asked. Nonsense, of course I like it. My dream is to become a martial scholar. Yi Dingdong's eyes lit up, as if she could see herself becoming a martial scholar.
Then you still have a long way to go.
I believe that I can definitely do it,
she said confidently.
Ding Dang, this time you may not succeed in using me as a shield. That Song Yu is very smart. We may not be able to deceive him. Moreover, he is a very handsome guy, at least much more handsome than me. Have you not considered it? Consider your ass. No matter how handsome he is, I will not consider it. I hate it the most when other people tell me what to do with my life. I have to make my own decisions, not to mention when it comes to marriage, I will not listen to anyone. Chapter 58. Tang Zheng stayed with the Ye family. At the dining table, Yi Dingdang deliberately sat next to him and filled his bowl with rice and dishes. She looked like an inseparable little girl. Song Yu talked and laughed freely, as if she didn't see it, or as if he wasn't there to propose at all. Qin Lao, on the other hand, had a gloomy face as usual. He glanced at Tang Zheng from time to time, as if he wanted to skin him alive. Tang Zheng looked down and ate quietly. However, he was a little overwhelmed by Yi Dingdong's enthusiasm. There was a saying that it was difficult to erase a beauty's favor. It was indeed not a good thing to have such a grand favor from a beauty. Tang Zheng had to admit that this was the most boring meal he had ever eaten. Although there were all kinds of delicacies, the atmosphere at the dining table was too strange. It was tasteless. We're done eating. Let's go back to our room. Yi Dingdang pulled Tang Zheng's hand again and ran to their room. Before entering the door, she said, "We're going to rest first." Yi Tianlei and Feng Xinyang already knew that Tang Zheng was going to stay over tonight, so they even prepared a room for him. When he suddenly heard Yi Dingdong's last sentence, Yi Tianlei was so shocked that he almost spat out the food in his mouth. Could it be that they were really going to make the act real and let Tang Zheng take advantage of it? Feng Xinyang's eyes lit up. She smiled and secretly praised. This wretched girl is finally enlightened. She has to make the first move on such a good resource like the little handsome guy. This is really thanks to my good genes. Tonight, what's done can't be undone. I have to remind them to take safety precautions later. The other two's expressions were also particularly interesting. The veins on Qin Lao's forehead were throbbing. His face was as gloomy as the night outside, as if he could explode at any time. However, Song Yu only twitched the corner of her mouth and didn't have any other reaction. Qin Lao could only restrain himself and take a big gulp of tea to suppress the anger in his heart. In the bedroom, Tang Zheng stared straight at Yi Dingdang and asked, "Are we sleeping in the same room tonight?" Of course. That's the only way to convince them and make them give up. Yi Dingdang clenched her snow-white teeth, seemingly ready to throw caution to the wind. But we're a man and a woman alone in a room. Don't think too much. Let me tell you, you'll sleep on the floor and I'll sleep on the bed. If you dare to mess around, humph, be careful that I'll castrate you. Yi Dingdang waved her fist and threatened. You're no match for me. Your threats are useless. Tang Zheng smirked. This is my home. If you dare to do anything bad to me, my parents won't let you get away with it. Yi Dingdang bit her lip. She didn't know whether it was good or bad that she had invited a wolf into her house. Hee. You were the one who took the initiative to pull me in. I believe that they have also tacitly agreed. You. Don't even think about it. You can't take advantage of others. Okay, then I won't take advantage of others. But I have to sleep on the bed and you sleep on the floor. How can that be? Don't you have any gentlemanly spirit? I never said that I was a gentleman. Tang Zheng roguishly said. I didn't think that you were this kind of person. Okay, I promise you. You sleep on the bed and I sleep on the floor. Tang Zheng was slightly startled as he didn't think that she would compromise so easily. He originally only wanted to tease her and didn't really want her to sleep on the floor. But now it was hard for him to say anything. It seems that I can only wrong her for one night. Yi Dingdang bitterly glared at him and muttered. Stingy bastard. You're not a man at all. Tang Zheng sat on the bed. A faint fragrance entered his nose and he couldn't help but feel restless. This was a girl's bed. This was his first time on a girl's bed. Moreover, this bed was very soft. It was much more comfortable than his wooden bed. Hey, what are you thinking about? Nothing much. I'm warning you. You're not allowed to think nonsense. I'm going to read for a while. Don't run around. She finished speaking and went to her desk to read. Tang Zheng was bored to death. He simply closed his eyes. In a strange environment with outsiders around, He didn't dare to rashly cultivate. Otherwise, if he was disturbed, he might go crazy. He closed his eyes to rest. He began to recall the knowledge that he had learned in the past 10 years. He found that his thoughts were becoming clearer and clearer. Moreover, his logic was becoming stronger and stronger. A lot of knowledge that seemed difficult to understand in the past could now be understood through a comprehensive study. This is the benefit of cultivation. Not only is the body tempered stronger, but the brain is also deeply developed. The increase in intelligence is obvious. Little brat, a man and a woman alone in a room. This is a great opportunity. Don't waste it. Enchanting was like a ghost, suddenly bursting out a sentence. Damn, if you don't speak, I won't treat you as a mute. You've always claimed to be a righteous person. Why do I feel that you're becoming more and more evil? Aren't I thinking for your sake? Well, I'm going to find a way to make you unable to speak. Otherwise, if you suddenly burst out a sentence, you'll scare me to death. Hey, when you're strong enough, you can naturally block me. But you're still too weak to do it. Oh, then what realm do I need to reach to be able to do it? Tang Zheng's heart moved. You heard wrong. I won't speak. Enchanting suddenly realized that she had spilled the beans, and immediately became silent. Tang Zheng was speechless, but this reminded him that although he was now used to the existence of Enchanting, if there were some private moments in the future, he didn't want to share with others. Well, I must find a way. Little brat, you're burning the bridge after crossing the river. That's not good enough. Enchanting said. How is this burning the bridge after crossing the river? This is to protect my privacy, you know? It doesn't matter if you don't say it. I'll definitely know. Okay, I'll tell you. As long as you reach the 4th grade refining qi, you can learn sealing techniques. At that time, you can temporarily seal my thoughts. Enchanting helplessly said. Why do I have to be at the 4th grade refining qi to learn sealing techniques? Why can't I learn it now? Tang Zheng said in disbelief. I'm really not lying to you. Do you think sealing techniques are that simple? Sealing techniques can not only seal me, but can also seal a living person, making them unable to speak, or even seal a person's consciousness. Isn't that the same as turning people into wood? In any case, the sealed person is almost the same as a piece of wood. But this also has a time limit. If one's skills are strong enough, they can be sealed for hundreds of years. Dong dong. A knock on the door interrupted the conversation. Feng Xinyang, why are you here? Yi Dingdang opened the door and asked sneakily. Of course I'm here to see you. Daughter. This time you've become smarter. But let me tell you, tonight you must pay attention to your safety. Young people should take it easy. These things are quite useful. Feng Xinyang said mysteriously as she handed over a box of Durex. Feng Xinyang, are you looking for death? Why are you giving me these things? Yi Dingdong's face immediately turned red like an apple, as if she was about to go berserk. Young people really don't understand. This is a safety measure, you know? Quickly take it. There's also Tang Zheng's pajamas. I just had someone go buy it. Just wear it, I won't disturb your good time. Hey, daughter. Good luck. Feng Xinyang winked meaningfully and then quickly walked away. Yi Dingdang didn't know whether to laugh or cry as she took Tang Zheng's pajamas and a box of Durex. She already didn't know what to say. What's your mom doing here? Suddenly, Tang Zheng asked from behind him. She's here to give you pajamas. Auntie is really thoughtful. Give it to me. Tang Zheng took the pajamas. Suddenly, a box of strange things fell to the ground, immediately attracting Tang Zheng's attention. Durex. Tang Zheng immediately recognized it. Yi Dingdang also saw the Durex and immediately realized that it fell when she handed him the pajamas. At this time, she wished she could find a hole to hide in. Feng Xinyang, I'm going to kill you. She hysterically roared in her heart. Then with lightning speed, she stepped on the Durex and stammered, You go take a bath and rest. Tang Zheng gave a meaningful smile and went to the bathroom with the pajamas. That smile made Yi Dingdang feel ashamed. He wouldn't think that I have ulterior motives towards him, right? How could that be? In all honesty, all of this was done by Feng Xinyang. Feng Xinyang, under the heavens, is there anyone who would cheat their own daughter like you?
Am I still your biological daughter? She wanted to cry but had no tears. Fortunately, Tang Zhang went into the bathroom. He quickly picked up the flattened Durex and, like a dead mouse, impatiently threw it into the trash can. Tonight, I must not sleep too soundly. I must be on guard against him. If he really dares to have any bad intentions, humph, I'll castrate him. Hearing the sound of water coming from the bathroom, she immediately realized that he was the first man to use her bathroom. She could not help but hatefully stomp her feet. He really got off easy. Forget it, this is just a temporary measure. First, I'll trick that surnamed Song into leaving and then I'll deal with him. The pajamas your mom sent over are quite fitting. Tang Zheng finished washing up and walked out. Yi Dingdang glared at him and said, I'm going to take a bath. You're not allowed to peek. Please, who would peek at you? I was just afraid that you would peek at me. Only a ghost would peek at you. Since you're afraid of peeking, then you don't have to take a bath. After all, you're sleeping on the floor. Tang Zheng shrugged and suggested, this is my home. If I want to take a bath, then I'll take a bath. It's none of your business. Yi Dingdang was raised to take a bath before going to bed. If she did not take a bath, she would not be able to sleep. She carefully entered the bathroom and hurriedly took off her clothes. Looking at her exquisite body in the mirror, she couldn't help but secretly exclaim, my body is so beautiful, I must protect it well. I absolutely can't let him take advantage of me. Her body was indeed beautiful. Moreover, it was a very healthy kind of beauty. She had been practicing martial arts since she was a child. Her body was well proportioned and tight. Moreover, there was a vestline. Her body was better than many girls who worked out in the gym. She did not dare to take a long bath like usual. She hurriedly took a bath and then put on her pajamas. Moreover, she specifically wore pajama pants. After making sure that she was not exposed, she walked out of the bathroom. She found that Tang Zheng was already lying on the bed. That look of enjoyment made her want to drag him down and beat him up. Suppressing the anger in her heart, she took out another set of quilts and threw them on the ground. Then, she wrapped herself up like a dumpling. She kept telling herself not to sleep too deeply. Sleepiness came, and in the end, she still fell asleep. Chapter 59. It was daybreak. Tang Zheng woke up. Why was there something heavy on his body? He opened his eyes in a daze and saw the white ceiling. Only then did he remember that he was not in his own house, but Yi Dingdong's bedroom. No, Yi Dingdang. He stared at the heavy object on his body. It was a person, Yi Dingdang. Half of her body was on top of him, and her hands were hugging his waist as if she was hugging a stuffed animal. Her head was leaning on his shoulder. Tang Zheng turned his head slightly and saw her beautiful face. There was a trace of laziness and a lock of hair covering her white face, making her look a little playful. Tang Zheng could even feel her gentle breathing. It was warm and ticklish on his neck. She is so beautiful. Tang Zheng let out a silent praise. She was a perfect sleeping beauty, causing others to want to commit a crime. Half of her body was on top of him, and her chest was in intimate contact with Tang Zheng. His breathing quickened involuntarily, and his body felt like it was going to burn. Suddenly, she made a sound and smacked her cherry lips. She opened her sleepy eyes. Suddenly, her eyes widened and she stared straight at Tang Zheng. Ah! She screamed. Tang Zheng reacted quickly and covered her mouth when she only shouted the first syllable. Don't scream. Woo-woo, Yi Dingdang kept struggling. Her eyes were about to spit fire. If you promise me you won't scream, I'll let go. Tang Zheng said. Woo! She was still glaring at him fiercely. Her eyes looked like she wanted to eat him alive. I'll take that as a promise. If I let go, you'll shout and attract other people. You'll be the one to make a fool of yourself. This sentence was indeed effective. Tang Zheng loosened his grip. Yi Dingdang took a deep breath and shouted angrily, You beast! He used grappling hand to restrain Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng had long anticipated that she would make a move, so he counterattacked at lightning speed. The two of them wrestled together and were tossed around by the waves. Sometimes they would be on top of each other, and sometimes they would be on top of each other. In the end, the two of them were twisted together like fried dough twists. Yi Dingdang was strangling Tang Zheng's neck, while Tang Zheng was grabbing Yi Dingdong's head. "Let go," Yi Dingdang said fiercely. "Put it down first," Tang Zheng replied. "You put it down first. If you release it, I'll release it. Beast, I'll kill you. What right do you have to scold me? You did that to me. If you're not a beast, then what are you? What did I do to you? Speak clearly. Moreover, look clearly. This is a bed. I was the one who slept in the bed last night. It was clearly you who climbed into my bed in the middle of the night and plotted against me," Tang Zheng said. Yi Dingdang suddenly remembered that she had woken up on the bed. Moreover, she had done such intimate actions with him. Could it be that she really did climb into his bed in the middle of the night? No, even if I did it, I can't admit it. Otherwise, I would die of embarrassment. Does waking up on the bed prove that you didn't do anything bad? Maybe you took advantage of me being asleep and carried me to the bed, and then plotted against me," Yi Dingdang righteously said. Tang Zheng was dumbstruck. There was actually such a twisted logic person in this world. "Hang, you have nothing to say." Yi Dingdang was very pleased with herself. Suddenly, her eyebrows knit together and she suspiciously asked, "What are you pointing at me with? You even brought a weapon?" Tang Zheng was ashamed. It was early in the morning and he was already in high spirits. After wrestling, the two people's bodies inevitably came into contact with each other, so his body reacted. Yi Dingdang wasn't an idiot. After a while, she realized what it was. She was both ashamed and angry. "Tang Zheng, you beast. I'm going to kill you. Hurry and let go of me." Tang Zheng knew that if this continued, it would only become more and more awkward. He quickly let go of his hand and slid off the bed like a loach, retreating 3 steps back. Yi Dingdang jumped up and like a white crane flapping its wings, she threw herself at him. Tang Zheng's feet slipped, avoiding direct contact with her. Suddenly, the room was filled with a dangerous aura. Dong dong. Feng Xinyang knocked on the door. "Wake up. Eat breakfast and go to school." The two people's movements suddenly stopped. "Hurry and open the door. Don't laze around in bed. Mom, stop knocking. We're already up. If you're up, then open the door for me," Feng Xinyang said without giving up. Yi Dingdang was helpless. She could only open the door a crack and said, "See, we're really up." Feng Xinyang peeked through the crack in the door and coincidentally saw the messy bed. She immediately understood and smiled. In a low voice she said, "AI, you young people don't know how to control yourselves. The bed is so messy, it will take a long time to clean it up." Yi Dingdong's face was red to the neck. She angrily said, "Feng Xinyang, no one will think you're a mute if you don't talk." She slammed the door. "Tang Zheng, it's all your fault." "How is it my fault? It was clearly you who wanted me to act out this show. You even wanted me to stay in the same room as you. Now you're saying it's my fault. You're too unreasonable," Tang Zheng said unhappily. "Tang Zheng, you're not allowed to tell anyone about what happened last night. Otherwise I'll really kill you." "Don't worry. I won't tell anyone that someone climbed into my bed last night. In the end, they even framed me." Yi Dingdang angrily stomped her feet. The two people finished washing up, changed their clothes, and walked out of the room. Breakfast was already prepared. It was still early and the others were not up yet. After eating breakfast, Feng Xinyang sent the two to school. Am I such a petty person? Of course not. You are the most selfless person in the world. Haha, I am not that great. It is just that if you ask me to do something, even if it means climbing a mountain of swords or diving into a sea of fire, I will do my best to do it. Feng Shishi's heart was filled with sweetness. Her face was filled with a happy smile. Beep beep. A car horn sounded behind Tang Zheng. Lu Qingmei poked her head out of the window and signaled Tang Zheng to get in the car. "Then I will go to make up for my lessons. See you tomorrow." "Okay, good luck. See you tomorrow." Tang Zheng got in the car. Lu Qingmei glanced at Feng Shishi, who was like a lotus in clear water, and coldly said, "I do not object to you two dating, but you must put your studies first. Do you understand?" "Teacher Lu, I understand. It is good that you understand. In the future, if there is nothing special,
It is best if you do not miss my lessons. Yes. How is your preparation for school fees coming along? I am still preparing. The whole journey was silent. On the way back, the two bought dinner and then returned home. This time, her house was meticulously cleaned. It was clearly a lot more tidy than the first time. You should rest first. Lu Qingmei entered the bedroom. Not long after, she changed into a set of loose home clothes. It covered her graceful figure and made her seem more approachable. After the two ate dinner, they began to make up for their lessons. After the first run-in, this time it was even smoother. Even though Tang Zhang had already recovered his strength, he still benefited a lot. Tang Zheng, why are your test results so bad? Suddenly, Lu Qingmei stared straight at him. Her eyes seemed to see through his heart. I also do not know. Tang Zhang did not expect her to be so direct. It seems that he was not able to hide his strength from her eyes. Nervous? Tang Zhang bitterly smiled and said, Maybe. No, I think you are not nervous at all. Lu Qingmei still remembered his appearance at the police station. He was calm and composed, without a trace of nervousness. How could a person who was not nervous in front of a violent mechanism be nervous in an exam field? Your ability to lie is not good at all. Lu Qingmei coldly said. Chapter 60. Feng Shishir watched as Lu Qingmei's mini drove off into the distance. Just as she was about to walk towards the school gate, she heard someone call her name. Qiao Fei, you called for me? Feng Shishir looked at Qiao Fei, who was hurrying over, and asked. Qiao Fei pretended to be calm and said, Yes, I have something to talk to you about. What is it? Let's talk over there. Qiao Fei said as he pointed towards the school gate. Feng Shishir did not suspect anything as she followed him and said, Speak, what is it? Qiao Fei had targeted Tang Zhang before, so Feng Shishir did not have a good impression of him. Do you know where Tang Zhang spent the night last night? Qiao Fei asked. Of course it's his home. Home? He told you. If you don't have anything else, then I'll go home first. Feng Shishir did not want to say more. You were tricked by him. He didn't go home last night. He went to Yi Dingdong's house and stayed there the entire night. Seeing that Feng Shishir was about to leave, Qiao Fei impatiently said as he felt a sense of satisfaction from his revenge. Feng Shishir's face instantly changed as she said, Don't talk nonsense. Haha, how could I talk nonsense? I have evidence. Look. Qiao Fei opened the photo on his phone. It recorded that yesterday Tang Zhang and Yi Dingdang left together in a car. This morning the two came to school in the same car and acted intimately. Feng Shishir stared at the photo in a daze, her heart in a mess. Could it be that he really went to Yi Dingdong's house to spend the night? Why didn't he tell me? Just what did they do? Most women, when faced with this kind of situation, would inevitably let their imagination run wild and be at a loss for what to do. Feng Shishir, you are wholeheartedly loyal to him. He is lying to you. This kind of person is a big liar. Don't ever trust him again. Qiao Fei saw that the time was right and immediately tried to drive a wedge between them. Feng Shishir looked up at him and said, Qiao Fei, this is between me and him. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do. Why don't you understand? He is not worthy of you. Moreover, he is multitasking. Shishir, you know that I have always liked you. Shut up. Don't say any more. I don't like you, and I won't be with you. Please don't say such things in the future. I'm going home. Feng Shishir felt as if a knife was being twisted in her heart. She turned around and left. She wanted to ask Tang Zhang what was going on. Did he really lie to her? Was this all an illusion? Before she could take 2 steps, her mouth was covered by someone. Her body was soft as if she had no strength. Her head was heavy as if she had dozed off. She lost to lose consciousness to sleep too. Seeing her fall, Qiao Fei hugged her. His lips curved into a devious smile as he muttered, Sure, this is all because of you. I pursued you bitterly, but you chose Tang Zheng. If I didn't make a move, then that poor bastard Tang Zheng would have taken advantage of me. I will never let that happen. Looking at Feng Shishir's beautiful face, his eyes lit up. Tonight, you are mine. Don't ever think of leaving me again. Ha! Qiao Fei was confident that as long as he obtained the woman's body, he would have thousands of ways to make her unable to leave him. He supported Feng Shishir, and like an intimate couple, they quickly walked out of the side door and got into the car that had been prepared long ago. The car went straight to the 5-star hotel. Qiao Fei familiarly went up the stairs and entered the room that was already prepared. Looking at Feng Shishir, who was quietly lying on the bed, she was like a sleeping beauty. He swallowed his saliva and became restless. "Where is this?" Suddenly, Feng Shishir opened her eyes and unconsciously asked. Suddenly, she saw Qiao Fei and the surrounding environment. Her face greatly changed as she exclaimed, "Qiao Fei, what are you doing?" "Hi hey. A single man and a single woman. What do you think I am doing?" "Qiao Fei, we are classmates. Don't be like this. This is against the law. Do you know that?" Feng Shishir's heart was in a mess. How could she not understand what Qiao Fei wanted to do? She never would have thought that Qiao Fei was this kind of person. "Haha, it's against the law. My family has money. The law has no effect on rich people. The law will only punish poor bastards like Tang Zheng. You did something bad. My family will not let you off. Hi hey, maybe after we get together, your family will be even happier. Our two families will be united by marriage. This will be a good story for both our families." "No, I don't like you. I will not let you succeed." Feng Shishir bit her lips and resolutely said. Qiao Fei laughed. "This is not up to you. Right now I have the final say. Do you think you can still resist?" Feng Shishir struggled to stand up but found that her whole body was sore and weak. "What did you do to me?" "Just a little trick. This will make the game more interesting. Moreover, I dare to guarantee that after you experience my good side, you will definitely not leave me again." "You're dreaming." "No, what I said is the truth and not a dream. Because in a moment I will record your moving side. This kind of moving and beautiful side should be kept as a memento. But if you leave me in the future, these beautiful things will spread throughout the world." Shameless. Feng Shishir's whole body was ice cold. Qiao Fei actually wanted to record a dirty video to threaten her. How could he be so perverted and so despicable? How could she not have noticed before? If she let him succeed, then her whole life would be ruined. How would she have the face to see Tang Zheng? This was the first time in her life that she felt such despair. "Tang Zheng, where are you? Quickly come and save me." She cried out in her heart, but she knew that Tang Zheng should be tutoring right now. How could he appear here? He was not a god and did not have divine schemes. "Qiao Fei, I beg you, let me go. I don't like you. A forced melon is not sweet." Feng Shishir was about to cry as she begged. "Hang, now you know to beg me? It's too late. I used to be so good to you, but you turned a blind eye and chose that poor bastard Tang Zheng. You have broken my heart. Tonight, no one can save you. From now on you are mine. Haha, in a moment I will be a bit more gentle and let you know what it's like to be a man." These unbearable words made Feng Shishir's face and ears turn red. She was angry and scared. Her whole body trembled as she said, "Qiao Fei, even if you obtain my body, you will not obtain my heart. Moreover, I will not let you go." Her body was soft and she did not have the ability to resist. Tonight, she suffered under his evil hands. She would not have the face to see Tang Zheng and could only leave this world forever. But even if she became a ghost, she would not let Qiao Fei go. Seeing the hatred and determination in her eyes, Qiao Fei felt as if his heart had been ruthlessly stabbed. A wave of unwillingness and anger rushed to his heart as he hysterically roared, "Even if I can't obtain your heart, I will obtain your body. Bitch, are you still thinking about Tang Zheng? Let me tell you, not only will I obtain you, I will watch as his woman is taken away from him. I will make him suffer so much that he will wish he was dead." "You pervert. Haha, you dare to call me a pervert? I'll show you how perverted I am." Qiao Fei's anger rose from his heart as he sent a slap towards Feng Shishir. Feng Shishir was unable to dodge, but she did not close her eyes in fear. Instead, she opened her eyes wide. In her eyes, besides anger, there was also contempt and unyielding. Pang! A muffled sound rang out. Feng Shishir did not feel any pain, but she felt a hot air coming from her chest. Then Qiao Fei flew out and heavily hit the wall.
He fainted like a dead fish. Ah, what is going on? Feng Shisher was dumbstruck. With her knowledge, she could not understand what was going on. There was no third party in the room, so how could he fly out? Seeing him faint, she finally let out a sigh of relief. She only wanted to quickly escape this devil's den, but she found that her body was still weak. No, I must leave here. Otherwise, when he wakes up, I will not be able to escape. She used all her strength to reach into her pocket for her phone, only to find that it was gone. Xiao Fei must have taken it away. What should I do? What should I do? I can't walk. I must call someone to come to the hotel and save me. Suddenly, her eyes fell on the phone at the head of the bed. Right, use this phone. She stretched out her hand with difficulty, and a number immediately jumped into her mind. She did not even think about it and directly dialed the number. At this time, the first person she thought of was not her family, but Tang Zheng. It seems that she subconsciously believed that Tang Zheng could save her. Sorry, the number you have dialed is currently busy. The line was busy. Feng Shisher was close to despair. Just as she was about to call her family, her hand suddenly froze. Because Xiao Fei woke up. F***CK. It hurt so much. Suddenly, Xiao Fei loudly shouted. She hopelessly looked at Xiao Fei, who had already stood up. Xiao Fei shook his head and blankly looked around. He did not find a third party, and Feng Shisher was still lying on the bed. What is going on? Am I hallucinating? No, how could this be an illusion? He clearly remembered that he was sent flying by a strong force and then lost consciousness. Evil F***CK. I don't believe that even the heavens cannot stop me from getting her. He had already been completely blinded by anger and desire. Feng Shisher, tonight you are mine. He laughed nastily and once again threw himself at Feng Shisher. The innate qi in Tang Zheng's body began to violently vibrate, and he immediately realized that something was wrong. This was not his own problem, but someone else's problem. The Imperial Spirit Array had been activated, and he had a kind of telepathy with the array. But he was unable to determine who was in danger. He immediately rushed out of Lu Qingmei's house like the wind and said, Teacher Lu, I have something to do, so I will leave first. Just as he finished speaking, he had already disappeared. Lu Qingmei's eyebrows slightly wrinkled as she stared at the door. She muttered to herself, Escape, I want to see how long you can escape for. She mistakenly believed that Tang Zheng had his secret exposed and did not know how to face it, so he found an excuse to escape. Young people will always be young people. They are still too impatient and expose themselves after being tricked by my words. Tang Zheng did not run around like a headless fly. This was because when the formation was activated, he had a feeling that he had sensed the location of the victim. Chapter 61. Tang Zheng, where did you take my daughter? Shi Mengqin bombarded Tang Zheng's ears with a high decibel. Auntie, did Shisher not return home? Tang Zheng asked. You already know the answer. Let me ask you, what did you do to my daughter? Hurry and let her return home. If you dare to do anything bad to her, I will definitely not let you off. Shi Mengqin threatened. Auntie, don't worry. Shisher will definitely be fine. Tang Zheng hurriedly hung up the phone. The two did not know that while they were on the phone, Feng Shisher had called for help. However, because Tang Zheng was using the old man's phone, there was no notification, so he missed this crucial call. Tang Zheng madly ran, rushing towards the location he sensed. Tian Chanzi, is there any way for me to clearly pinpoint Shisher's location? Tang Zheng anxiously asked as he ran. There is. Tian Chanzi did not beat around the bush and directly taught Tang Zheng the tracking technique. Tang Zheng learned it quickly, and in the darkness, his perception of Feng Shisher became even clearer. The tracking technique could not track just anyone, but the most important thing was that the spirit control array was activated, so he was able to quickly track. City Center. Fortunately, Lu Qingmei's home was near the city center, so Tang Zheng did not need to run for long to reach his destination. Hotel. Tang Zheng looked at the luxurious hotel, and the ominous premonition in his heart grew stronger. Feng Shisher was in danger in a hotel, and this was enough to explain many problems. Shisher, you must wait for me. You must be fine. Tang Zheng entered the hotel, and a moment later, He arrived outside a guest room. The tracking technique's location was here. The door was tightly shut, but how could it stop him? Pong! He directly kicked open the door. Who is it? Xiao Fei was lying on top of Feng Shishi's body, tearing off her clothes. Suddenly, a muffled sound came from the door. He shouted and turned his head to look, only to find that there was another person in the room. It was a person that he definitely did not want to see, a person that he did not expect. Tang Zheng, why are you here? Xiao Fei panicked as if he had seen a ghost. Bastard, I'm going to kill you. When Tang Zheng saw Feng Shishi lying on the bed with tears streaming down her face, he became enraged. He madly rushed over and punched Xiao Fei in the chest. Roar! Xiao Fei was like a shrimp, instantly lying on the ground. Shishi! Tang Zheng picked up Feng Shishi. Bastard, get lost! Don't touch me, don't touch me! Feng Shishi screamed in panic. Her eyes were full of despair and pain. Tang Zheng felt as if a knife was being twisted, and said, Shishi, it's me, I'm Tang Zheng. Feng Shishi was startled and said, Tang Zheng, save me, save me. I've come to save you. You're fine, you're safe. Tang Zheng tightly held her in his arms, as if he was holding the most precious thing in the world. Feng Shishi's emotions gradually calmed down. She finally saw Tang Zheng clearly. She was pleasantly surprised and said, Tang Zheng, it really is you. You've come to save me. It's me, I came late and made you suffer. I knew you would come to save me. You are my hero, my great hero. Xiao Fei is a bastard. He wants to. As she spoke, she began to cry again. With me here, no one will be able to harm you. Tang Zheng patted her back, comforting her. At the same time, he felt a lingering fear. If he had come a step later, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Xiao Fei, this bastard, I will definitely not let him go. His gaze fell on Xiao Fei's body. He was already struggling to stand up, the muscles on his face twisted together in pain. Tang Zheng, you dare hit me. F***ck, not only will I hit you, I will also kill you, you bastard. Tang Zheng put down Feng Shishi, and like a fierce tiger, he flashed, punching and kicking Xiao Fei. Xiao Fei miserably screamed, and not long after, his face was bruised and swollen. He fell to the ground twitching, and did not have any strength to resist. Tang Zheng, don't hit him. If you continue, he will die. Feng Shishi saw the situation, and hurriedly advised. I just want to kill him. If you kill him, do you want to go to jail? If you go to jail, what will I do? Tang Zheng stopped. Tang Zheng, let's leave this place. I don't want to see him again. Feng Shishi painfully said. Okay, we will leave immediately. But Xiao Fei has done such an outrageous thing. He can avoid the death penalty, but he cannot escape punishment. Shishi, you go out for a while. I will come out immediately. I can't walk. He drugged me. Tang Zheng slapped his head. He was too careless and did not notice this. He grabbed her hand and used his qi to check. Finding that the situation was not too serious, he immediately used his qi to disperse the drug. Feng Shishi suddenly found that she had regained her ability to move. She immediately opened her eyes wide and looked at Tang Zheng in amazement. She did not know how he did it. He really is my hero. You go out first. Feng Shishi obediently walked to the door. Tang Zheng grabbed Xiao Fei and lifted him up. Tang Zheng, what are you doing? Killing people is illegal. Xiao Fei fearfully shouted. Killing you is dirtying my hands. Tang Zheng quickly tore off his clothes. What are you doing? Don't tell me you have this kind of hobby. Xiao Fei's butt tightened as he panicked. Do you think everyone is as perverted as you? Xiao Fei, I have no enmity with you. You have targeted me time and time again. You even sent people to deal with my grandfather. Do you think I will just let you go? Xiao Fei's face was deathly white as he panicked and said, Tang Zheng, please let me go. I will never treat you like that again. Before, I was jealous of you. Your studies were better than mine and Feng Shishi also liked you. I was blinded by jealousy. A leopard cannot change its spots. I have already given you a chance, but you did not cherish it. Tang Zheng had already promised not to care about Qiao Fei's actions, but he was seeking his own death. This cannot be blamed on him. Seeing Tang Zheng like a killing god, Qiao Fei was terrified as he begged for mercy. Tang Zheng, please don't kill me. I have money. I will give you money. Don't you need money? Who wants your stinky money? Just accept your fate. You have done many evil deeds. This is retribution. Seeing Tang Zheng about to make a move, although he did not know how Tang Zheng was going to deal with him, he knew that Tang Zheng would definitely make him wish he was dead. Seeing that begging for mercy was futile, he became angry and roared, Tang Zheng, who do you think you are? I am the young master of a rich family. You are a poor bastard who grew up in a garbage dump. I only hate that I did not directly kill you and only made your brain stupid. What? You are saying that my injury was caused by you? Tang Zheng had long suspected this. Today, hearing Qiao Fei confirm it with his own mouth made him even angrier. That attack had changed his fate, causing him to fall from the altar to the dust and suffer the supercilious looks of others. Yes, I did it. So what? You have occupied the school's #1 position for a long time, making everyone's eyes focus on you. I do not accept this. You do not deserve this glory. So I will pull you down from the altar and make you the object of disdain. Qiao Fei seemed to have thrown caution to the wind as he spoke his true thoughts. Tang Zheng's heart moved as he asked, Then the tuition fee was also done by you, right? Haha, of course. I will force you away. I will make you and Feng Shishir far away so that you will never have a chance. Tang Zheng's eyes flashed with anger. He originally only wanted to teach Qiao Fei a lesson and make him afraid of him. It seems that his thoughts were too simple. Qiao Fei may be afraid of him, but he will definitely not let this matter go. Since he has persistently targeted him for so long, then in the future he will definitely become even worse. It is easy to dodge a spear in the open, but difficult to defend against a hidden arrow. He must nip this hidden danger in the bud. Moreover, what he did to Feng Shishir is unforgivable. Dragons have reverse scales. Humans also have reverse scales. Tang Zheng's family and loved ones are his reverse scales. Anyone who touches it will die. He has already been completely controlled by hatred. Kill him and everything will be over. Tian Chanzi suggested. No, if I kill him the police will intervene. I will cause trouble. I want him to beg for death and become an idiot. Do you have any ideas? This is simple. You only need to use your qi to mess around in his brain. Then his brain will turn into paste and he will naturally become an idiot. Okay, that's it. Tang Zheng does not feel that he is cruel and merciless. Because Qiao Fei has tried to kill him several times, he is still being merciful. Qiao Fei, in the future you will never be able to do evil again. Tang Zheng reached out his hand and pressed on his temple. If you have the guts, then kill me. Otherwise I will never let you go. Qiao Fei shouted fiercely. I won't kill you because I want you to become an idiot. Just as his voice fell, Tang Zheng activated his martial arts. Idiot? Qiao Fei was very puzzled. Suddenly, his brain felt a sharp pain, as if a knife was inserted into his brain. He directly fainted. Tang Zheng checked the room to make sure that there are no clues left behind. Finally, he found Feng Shishir's phone on Qiao Fei's body. Only then did he leave the room. What did you do to him? Feng Shishir saw him come out and quickly asked. Make him unable to do evil again? You killed him? Feng Shishir's eyes widened in horror. How could I? I only knocked him unconscious. Let's go. Feng Shishir let out a sigh of relief. Even though she hates Qiao Fei, she does not want Tang Zheng's hands to be stained with blood. How did you find me? After leaving the hotel, Feng Shishir could not help but curiously ask. After calming down, she realized that Tang Zheng's sudden appearance was very mysterious. Do you still remember the jade Buddha that I gave you? I remember. I always have it with me. The jade Buddha is a treasure. Whenever you encounter an attack, I can sense it. Treasure. Feng Shishir's eyes widened. It was as if she was listening to a myth. This was beyond her understanding. Could it be that when Qiao Fei wanted to hit me, he was sent flying because of the jade Buddha? Even though Tang Zheng did not see that scene, he guessed that this should be the case. He nodded and said, Yes, that's why I can sense it. However, The Jade Buddha can only be used once a day. This was because Tang Zheng's martial arts were still weak. Therefore, the Imperial Spirit Formation's effect was reduced. It could only be used once a day. Moreover, the Imperial Spirit Formation's effect was that the stronger the enemy's attack, the stronger the counterattack. Qiao Fei only slapped her and the attack was not strong. He was only sent flying. If his attack was more intense, then he would have been directly injured or even killed. Feng Shishi's heart felt sweet. He actually gave her such a precious treasure. It was enough to see how important she was in his heart. In the future, remember to always carry it with you. Tang Zheng warned. I'll send you home. Chapter 62. Your mom just called me asking where you were and told me to quickly send you home. Tang Zheng said. Feng Shishi firmly shook her head and said, I really don't want to go home, I want to be with you. Saying this, she held onto Tang Zheng's arm. Tang Zheng was helpless as she had suffered so much today, so he really should stay by her side. Then let's go for a walk. Tang Zheng, Qiao Fei said that you stayed at Yi Dingdong's house last night? Ah. Tang Zheng was slightly stunned but did not deny it. Yes, last night something happened in the Ye family and they asked me to help, so I stayed at the Ye family. What happened? It's already been resolved. Tang Zheng would not be so stupid as to say that he and Yi Dingdang had a fake engagement, as that would simply be asking for trouble. Seeing that he did not want to say more, Feng Shishi did not force him. The two strolled along the street as the night was hazy and the lights on both sides of the road pulled their shadows long. Feng Shishi raised her head to look at Tang Zheng and said, I've noticed that you've changed a lot recently and you seem different from before. What's different? Tang Zheng pretended to be calm as he said in his heart that a woman's directness was really sensitive. I don't know, come up. Anyways, I feel that your temperament has changed and your attitude towards doing things is also different from before. Tang Zheng could not help but sigh with emotion. Imperceptibly, even he himself did not realize that there was such a big change. In the past, he only knew how to study and was the standard obedient student. Now his actions were even more casual, revealing a free and easy feeling. However, no matter what you become, I will still like it. Feng Shishi tightly held his hand and sincerely said, Shishi, I will protect you so that you will never be bullied again. Tang Zheng's emotions fluctuated as he firmly said, I believe in you. Tomorrow, I will request to change classes. I want to be in the same class as you. I don't want to be in class 1 anymore. I don't want to see Qiao Fei again. Suddenly, her expression darkened as she said, Qiao Fei probably won't return to school. Tang Zheng said, Why? Because I beat him into a pig's head. Tang Zheng didn't want to say that he had already turned him into an idiot. Then he will still go back after he recovers. Besides, I don't want to stay here any longer. I want to be in the same class as you. I want to be by your side. There was a deeper reason for Feng Shishi's decision. Although there was nothing going on between Tang Zheng and Yi Dingdang, the two of them were deskmates after all. They spent a lot of time together, so there was no telling what might happen. It would be too late to take precautions then. This was her little thought, but the starting point was her love for Tang Zheng, so it was understandable. But will the old witch agree? It doesn't matter if she doesn't agree. My dad is a member of the school's board of directors. I still have the privilege of changing classes. Tang Zheng didn't try to persuade her again. Unknowingly, the two of them walked from the city center to the south of the city. The night grew darker and colder. Feng Shishi couldn't help but shiver. You're cold. I'll send you home. I already said that I won't go back. Feng Shishi repeated. But your family will be worried. Just as his voice fell, Tang Zheng's phone rang again. Your mom is calling. Tang Zheng picked it up and looked. Feng Shishi pursed her lips. Tang Zheng, if you don't send my daughter back, then I will call the police. Shi Mengqin sternly threatened. Tang Zheng made a helpless expression towards Feng Shishi and said, Auntie, I will immediately send Shishi home. Don't worry. Hang, at least you know your place. Hurry up. Shishi, if I don't send you back, then your mom will call the police. After hanging up the phone, Tang Zheng said. Feng Shishi unhappily said, she wants to take care of everything. Since I was young, everything was arranged by her. I am just like a puppet. Tonight, she had encountered too many things. Her emotions fluctuated greatly. She cares about you. In the future, we will have plenty of time to be together. Moreover, you don't want her opinion of me to grow bigger and bigger. Tang Zheng advised. Okay. Feng Shishir agreed. The two of them took a taxi to a luxurious villa. Go back and rest early tonight. Tomorrow we will be together. Feng Shishir said expectantly. You should also have a good sleep. Don't think about tonight's matter anymore. Tang Zheng warned. Then I will go in. Feng Shishir hugged Tang Zheng, kissed him on the lips, and then reluctantly walked in. This scene was coincidentally seen by Shi Mengqin, who walked out. Immediately, her eyes widened and she said in a low voice, Shishir, what were you doing just now? Nothing. Feng Shishir lightly said. Good, I saw it with my own eyes. You actually dare to lie. The more you follow him, the worse you become. No, I definitely cannot let him leave like this. Shi Mengqin was flustered and exasperated. You are not allowed to go. If you dare to find trouble with him, I will never speak to you again. What? You actually dare to threaten me? I am tired. I want to go to sleep. Stop. Just what did you guys do tonight? Shi Mengqin relentlessly asked. I don't want to tell you. Feng Shishir thought of that humiliating scene and her mood immediately fell. She only wanted to take a bath and sleep, completely forgetting everything. But her cold reaction was simply disgraceful and abnormal in Shi Mengqin's eyes. How could her previously obedient daughter become so disobedient? This was definitely instigated by Tang Zheng. This little brat has unfathomable motives. He actually instigated my daughter to go against me. Preposterous. Simply preposterous. The more Shi Mengqin thought, the angrier she became. If he wants to rely on the Ye family support to do bad things to my daughter, then he is wrong. I will definitely not let him succeed. In a few days, I will bring Tang Zheng home to eat. You should prepare. Before entering, Feng Shishir's words almost caused Shi Mengqin's jaw to drop. He wants to enter the Feng family so quickly? He must be daydreaming. Whatever, I was worried that I would not have a chance to teach you a lesson. When the time comes, I will definitely embarrass you and let you know that our Feng family's threshold is very high. You simply cannot reach it. The next day, Tang Zheng discovered that Lu Qingmei's gaze towards him was somewhat strange. It was like an eagle looking at a little chick. Damn, last night she almost saw through my flaws. If I continue to tutor her, then one day I will be exposed. Even though he felt that Lu Qingmei was a very good teacher and that he could absorb a lot of purine energy by being with her, compared to exposing his secret, he would rather choose to maintain a certain distance from her. Tonight I must find an excuse to avoid her. Teacher Lu, come out for a moment. Suddenly, the principal called out from outside the door. Lu Qingmei stopped teaching and walked out. The entire class looked outside, not knowing what happened. A moment later, Lu Qingmei walked in, but there was an extra person behind her, Feng Shishir. Immediately, everyone's eyes widened as they looked at this beautiful school flower, not knowing what was going on. Lu Qingmei's expression was still cold, making it impossible for people to see her mood. She lightly said, Today, our class has a new student, Feng Shishir. For the next 2 months, everyone will be studying together. My name is Feng Shishir. In the future, I will be looking forward to everyone's guidance. Feng Shishir sweetly smiled and gently said. Everyone was stunned for half a minute. What kind of song is this? Feng Shishir is the current #1 in the entire school. Why would she come to the Hell class? Some of the more quick-witted people already thought of a reason, Tang Zheng. So they all turned their heads to look at Tang Zheng in the last row. They discovered that his expression was normal as if nothing had happened. F***CK. This must be because of Tang Zheng. His luck with women is too good. He actually made Feng Shishir change classes for him. Many people were envious, jealous, and hateful. Why didn't such a good thing fall on their heads? Takashi clenched his fist and thought. Yesterday, wasn't Xiao Fei going to make a move against Feng Shishir? Why is Feng Shishir acting like nothing happened? Could it be that Xiao Fei cancelled his plan?
Now that Xiao Fei sees the cooked duck fly away, I wonder what kind of expression he will have. Suddenly, his heart lit up as a glimmer of hope appeared in his heart. Feng Shishir is here. That means Tang Zheng won't have a chance to hook up with Yi Dingdang. That means my chance has come. Thinking of this, he wanted to jump up in excitement. This time Xiao Fei is out of luck. My good luck has come. Who cares? My own happiness is more important. What does Xiao Fei's happiness have to do with me? He and Xiao Fei were jackals of the same tribe. They only got together because they were birds of a feather. There was no friendship to speak of. Naturally, he wouldn't feel sad for him. Feng Shishir really should have come to class 7 earlier. That Tang Zheng and Yi Dingdang probably didn't have a chance. But now it's not too late. Haha, Takashi's luck has changed. My spring has finally come. Where do you want to sit? Lu Qingmei asked. Of course she would welcome such a top student. She and everyone else thought that Feng Shishir came for Tang Zheng. She couldn't help but take a few more glances at Tang Zheng. How could this brat's charm be so great? Yi Dingdang and his relationship seemed to be very close. Moreover, Feng Shishir, his official girlfriend, even changed classes. Tang Zheng was simply like a love saint. Teacher Lu, can I sit there? Feng Shishir pointed at the seat in front of Tang Zheng. There was already someone sitting there. Actually, Feng Shishir wanted to sit together with Tang Zheng. However, she knew that Yi Dingdang would definitely not agree. Why would she make such an impossible request? Then you'll have to ask your classmate's opinion. Lu Qingmei pointed at the male student sitting there and said, I don't have any objections. You can sit here with me. The male student excitedly said. It was as if being chosen by Feng Shishir was his greatest honor. Feng Shishir smiled and expressed her thanks. Then she naturally sat in front of Tang Zheng, leaving her beautiful back and jet black hair to Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He used to think that Feng Shishir was very obedient and timid. Only now did he realize that her courage wasn't small at all. She openly sat in front of him. At this point, even a blind person could see that she came for Tang Zheng. Feng Yong quietly gave a thumbs up to Tang Zheng. Yi Dingdang also looked at him thoughtfully and meaningfully. Such a big piece of news happened in the Hell class. It made all the students' hearts surge. But at the same time, the elite class 1 was also experiencing a big event. Chapter 63. Feng Shishir decisively leaving class 1 for class 7 was like a ruthless slap to Wu Cuihong's face. She had expressed her contempt and disgust for class 7 on more than one occasion. But today, the most outstanding student in her class actually took the initiative to transfer to class 7. This was an undisguised slap to her face. Wu Cuihong's anger burned as she really had the urge to kill. The entire class was silent out of fear that they would be implicated. Suddenly Wu Cuihong's gaze fell on another empty seat, Xiao Fei. Where did Xiao Fei go? She unhappily asked. After being silent for a long time, someone finally carefully said, Xiao Fei did not come today. Did not come? Wu Cuihong's face became increasingly ashen, but she did not think too much about it as Xiao Fei was not only the class monitor but also his family background. Even if he really played truant, she would not be able to do anything to him. Study for this class yourself. Wu Cuihong did not have the desire to teach as she coldly threw down these words and walked out of the classroom. Just at this moment, a middle-aged woman dressed in luxurious clothing walked in with 2 strong men behind her who loudly shouted, Not a single one is allowed to leave. Wu Cuihong of course recognized this person as she was Xiao Fei's mother. Wu Cuihong hurriedly went up to greet her as she forced out a smile and said, Madam Xiao, why did you come? Madam Xiao coldly looked at Wu Cuihong and with an ashen face said, You are also not allowed to leave. Wu Cuihong was suddenly startled as she did not know why the other party was so angry. She hurriedly said, Madam Xiao, did something happen? Of course something has happened, something big has happened. Someone has grown the guts of a leopard and actually dared to harm my son. I will definitely drag this person out. Madam Xiao said with a murderous look. Wu Cuihong was shocked when she heard this and asked with concern, Xiao Fei is injured? Is his injury serious? What is going on? I also want to ask you what is going on.
You are his teacher, and yesterday after school he did not return home, and today he was found injured. He is still unconscious and is currently undergoing emergency treatment. Madame Chow sternly asked. Wu Tsuehong said in her heart, "What does this have to do with me?" But she couldn't directly add fuel to the fire and said, "I'm also very concerned about Chow Fei's injury, but we should first figure out what happened. I remember that he was fine yesterday after school." "Then tell us what happened after school. You are his teacher and classmate, so you must know the truth. If you don't tell us today, then no one is allowed to leave the classroom." Madame Chow's request was unreasonable, causing all of the students to glare at her. "What are you glaring at? My son is injured. You are all suspects. If you know the truth, say it quickly. Otherwise, you will have to bear the consequences." "Are you being unreasonable? We weren't the ones who hurt Chow Fei, so what right do you have to question us?" Someone retorted. "Why? Humph. My family is a board member of the school. Anyway, if we don't get to the bottom of this today, no one can leave the classroom." Wu Tsuehong felt a headache coming on. Feng Shishi's matter had just passed and now this happened. Could it be that this year was really unlucky for her to have so many troublesome matters come knocking on her door? She suppressed the anger in her heart and said, "Madam Chow, this is definitely a misunderstanding. Students, don't complain. Everyone cooperate and recall if you saw Chow Fei yesterday after school." Chow Fei purposely avoided everyone yesterday after school, so how could he be discovered? Seeing everyone shake their heads, Madame Chow became unhappy. She thought that these students were not cooperating and said, "I don't believe that I can't deal with a group of students. I'll interrogate you one by one. We are not criminals. You have no right to interrogate us." The students were young and full of vigor. They were all the pearls of their palms at home. When had they ever suffered such humiliation? They all retorted, causing the atmosphere to become tense. Madame Chow was not afraid at all. Instead, she looked at them with ridicule. Suddenly, her eyes fell on two empty seats. One of them was her son's, but what about the other one? This meant that there were not all students in the classroom. "Call all the students in your class over. Not a single person can be missing. There must be someone who knows the details." Madame Chow ordered arrogantly as if Wu Tsuehong was one of her subordinates. "My class's students are all here." "Liar, there are clearly two empty seats." "Oh, the other empty seat is a student who just transferred to another class." "Just transferred? To be in such a hurry to transfer, there must be a problem. Who knows? Maybe my son's injury is related to her. Let's go find this student." Madame Chow's eyes lit up as if she had discovered a new continent. Wu Tsuehong originally wanted to persuade her, but after thinking about it, Feng Shishi was no longer in her class, so why should she speak good words for her? It would be best if Madame Chow went to cause a ruckus. That way, she could also make Lu Qingmei lose face, killing two birds with one stone. That student transferred to Class 7. The worst Class 7. Madame Chow said in surprise as she clearly knew of Class 7's reputation. There must be a problem with this person. Transferring to a trash class like Class 7, how could she be a good student? My son's injury must be related to her. Let's go to Class 7. The three of them rushed to Class 7. Wu Tsuehong hesitated for a moment before also chasing after them. The other students looked at each other in dismay. Just what kind of trouble was this? Lu Qingmei was in the middle of her lesson when she heard a ruckus outside. Then the classroom door was heavily pushed open and fiercely hit the wall, making a loud noise. Lu Qingmei immediately raised her eyebrows as she stared at the door with an unkind expression. Coincidentally, she saw Madame Chow aggressively walk in with two strong men. "Get out! I'm in the middle of a lesson," Lu Qingmei said without any trace of politeness. Madame Chow looked at Lu Qingmei and couldn't help but feel ashamed of her inferiority. At her age, what she hated the most was seeing others younger and prettier than her. However, there was no doubt that Lu Qingmei was younger and prettier than her. In front of Lu Qingmei, she was like an old tree branch. Thus, she didn't have a good expression towards Lu Qingmei and said, "You still want to go to class? No way. Hand over the student that just transferred from Class 1. Lu Qingmei was secretly astonished.
Just who was this crazy woman and why was she looking for Feng Shirshir? Who are you? Lu Qingmei asked. Hung, who am I? I am someone you can't afford to provoke. Let me tell you, hurry up and call that person out. Otherwise, I will make sure you lose your job. Madame Chow said overbearingly. Lu Qingmei obviously saw that her background wasn't ordinary, but how could she be afraid of her? She jokingly said, "You want me to lose my job? You don't have the qualifications. My family is a board member of this school. You say I don't have the qualifications?" Lu Qingmei's expression didn't change as she said, "So what if you are a board member? I am in class, so even if you are the emperor, you still have to get out." Lu Qingmei was a person who would become stronger when faced with a strong opponent. Madame Chow wanted to use her status to pressure her, but she didn't fall for it. Seeing the unyielding Lu Qingmei, Madame Chow was both angry and amused. In all these years, no one had dared to speak to her like this. She directly walked in front of the male student and fiercely slapped the table and said, "Tell me, who is the student that just transferred from class 1? Who do you think you are? Why should I tell you?" The male student looked at her with disdain and completely ignored her. Class 7 couldn't be compared to Class 1. The students' bones were filled with pride and they also had the rebellious nature of young people. Even the teachers were unable to subdue them, so how could they be afraid of a woman who suddenly ran in and made a fuss? Madame Chow angrily said, "You are expelled. Immediately scram." "I think you should be the one to scram." Lu Qingmei walked over. "I will say it again. Please leave my classroom. I want to go to class." "What kind of class is this? Who is the one that just transferred from class 1? Stand up for this old lady." Madame Chow slapped the table and angrily roared. Many people subconsciously looked towards Feng Shirshir. They all wanted to know what kind of enmity she had with this crazy woman for her to actually make this crazy woman so angry. However, no one said anything about Feng Shirshir. Instead, they all angrily stared at Madame Chow. Seeing Madame Chow being rude to Lu Qingmei again and again, many people angrily stood up. This anger quickly accumulated and finally exploded into a shocking roar. Scram! The sound was so loud that the floor seemed to tremble. Madame Chow was frightened and retreated 3 steps. If not for 2 strong men supporting her, she would have already fallen to the ground. She was both frightened and frightened. Her chest was heaving up and down as she gasped for breath and said, "Rebel, you guys really rebel. You don't want to talk, right? I have a way to make you talk. You guys go grab a person and interrogate him. I want to see how long you guys can keep your mouths shut." 2 strong men flashed and grabbed a male student. They wanted to pull him out of his seat, but the male student held onto the table with a red face. "Stop!" Lu Qingmei coldly shouted. She wanted to stop them but was blocked by one of the strong men. "If you don't cooperate, then this is your fate," Madame Chow arrogantly said. "My students, no one can touch them. You will pay the price for what you have done today," Lu Qingmei said in a powerful and resonant voice. The classroom was bustling with noise and excitement. Suddenly someone shouted, "Let's fight it out with them." A few male students raised their chairs and were about to rush forward. Just at this time, Feng Shirshir stood up and said, "The person you are looking for is me. Let go of that student." Shwa! The noise disappeared in an instant, and everyone looked at her at the same time. "Feng Shirshir, don't stand up. There is no reason to talk to these people. Let's chase them out." Someone shouted. "Right, chase them out." Madame Chow stared at Feng Shirshir, another girl who was younger and more beautiful than her. This caused her jealousy to increase. She waved her hand and said, "Grab her for me." Chapter 64. Feng Shirshir did not retreat or dodge. Under this kind of attack, she was like a rootless duckweed without any ability to resist. But she was not afraid. Not even the slightest bit of fear. Instead, she was filled with courage because there was a person standing behind her, a person she could entrust her life to, Tang Zheng. Just now, when Madame Chow barged in and caused a ruckus, the 2 of them guessed that it might be related to Chow Fei. Seeing that Madame Chow actually wanted to harm other students, Feng Shirshir immediately stood up. The sturdy man's hand was about to grab her shoulder when suddenly, a hand appeared without any warning. Then, the sturdy man felt as if his hand had touched a hard piece of steel and was fiercely bounced back. He felt a burning pain and felt as if his bones were about to break. Tang Zheng had already stood up and stared at the sturdy man. When their eyes met, the sturdy man angrily shouted, "Who are you?"
Scram! Tang Zheng shouted. The opponent was not even a martial artist, so he had no interest in making a move. The sturdy man's feeling was different. He felt an extremely dangerous aura from Tang Zheng's body. Although the other party's performance was no different from the other students, he still had this kind of feeling in his heart. Even he himself felt that it was ridiculous.
"Why aren't you making a move?" Madame Chow asked.
Bang!
The sturdy man knew that he could not stay in a stalemate, so he made a move. His fist went straight for Tang Zheng's face.
Bang!
Before anyone could see it clearly, they saw the burly man softly fall down like a dead fish. Madame Chow finally realized that something was wrong and shouted, "Good, you still dare to hit people.
Hurry up and capture that girl and boy."
The other sturdy man also rushed over, but when he reached Tang Zheng, he followed in his footsteps and fell to the ground like a dead fish.
Wah!
Everyone stared with wide eyes at Tang Zheng as if they were looking at an alien. This was the first time they saw Tang Zheng make a move. They were all shocked because they did not see how Tang Zheng made a move. In their minds, a word quickly flashed: expert. Teenagers all worshipped the strong, and many of them immediately cheered. Madame Chow was so angry that her face turned white. No matter how stupid she was, she knew that she had encountered a tough opponent. "Brat, you dare to hit people, you're fired," Madame Chow said in a threatening manner. Tang Zheng gave her a look of disdain and did not pay her any attention. A strange light flashed through Lu Qingmei's eyes as she glanced at Tang Zheng. Then she stared at Madame Chow and said, "You brought people to school to commit murder, so don't even think about leaving. This matter must be clearly investigated by the police."
Haha, call the police?
Good, someone injured my son, Qiao Fei. Now that he is lying in the hospital, I also want to call the police. Without anyone to rely on, Madame Chow was deeply afraid that this group of fearless students would gang up on her. When she heard that they were going to call the police, she couldn't wait. "You can't call the police." Suddenly, the principal walked in and anxiously stopped them. "We're all on the same side. This is just a misunderstanding. Let's clear things up." The principal already felt a headache coming on. He was the principal specially hired by the school board, so of course he knew Madame Chow, so he couldn't let the situation escalate. Who is on the same side as her, principal? She openly brought people to school to commit murder. This kind of person must be severely punished. Lu Qingmei said straightforwardly. The principal bitterly smiled and said, "Teacher Lu, please calm down. This is Qiao Fei's mother. The Qiao family is a board member, so how could she bring people to school to commit murder? This is definitely a misunderstanding. Moreover, according to my understanding, Qiao Fei is indeed injured and hospitalized, which is why Madame Chow is so agitated."
Qiao Fei is hospitalized?
Lu Qingmei had of course heard of Qiao Fei's name. Qiao Fei's family background was illustrious, and his grades were also very good. However, she heard that he was a bit bossy and domineering, causing many students to fear him. "My son was injured after school yesterday, and this matter cannot be separated from a certain student. I suspect that student is the biggest suspect. Moreover, that boy actually hit people. This kind of student must be expelled." Madame Chow saw that the principal had arrived, so she became confident again. She placed her hands on her hips and said domineeringly. The principal glanced at Feng Shisher, and his forehead immediately broke out in cold sweat. If it was someone else, he would have the authority to deal with them, but Feng Shisher was not someone easy to deal with. The Feng family was also a board member, so he couldn't afford to offend them. Thus he hurriedly tried to smooth things over. "Madame Chow, is there a misunderstanding here?" Seeing that the principal actually sided with the other side in the blink of an eye, Madame Chow became angry. She thought that she couldn't count on the principal today. Once this matter was over, she would definitely get rid of him and find another obedient principal. "Misunderstanding? Then I'll have the police come and see if this is a misunderstanding." Saying this, she actually dialed a number and loudly said, "Chief Deng, I'm at Pengcheng International School. Come over,
I have some matters for you to settle. Okay, I'll wait for you. After hanging up the phone, she looked at the crowd with contempt and said, The police will be here soon. You guys just wait and tell them. The principal wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and said, Madam Chow, there is no need for the police to get involved in this matter. We can settle it ourselves. Hang, I don't need you to settle it. I'll let the police handle it. Let me tell you before the police come, that girl and boy are not allowed to leave. Today, there must be an explanation. Principal, letting these kind of people come to our school to cause trouble is simply bringing shame to our school. Lu Qingmei said. The principal bitterly smiled and advised, Teacher Lu, don't say too much. Seeing this deadlock, Feng Shishir asked in a low voice, What should we do? Don't worry, they don't know anything so they won't be able to do anything. Tang Zheng comforted her. How about I call home? The Chow family is bullying others, but our family is not so easy to bully. Feng Shishir said. Last night, Feng Shishir was the victim, but now that Madame Chow was making such a big fuss, it was as if she was the perpetrator, making her very angry. However, she did not want to make the matter of last night public. After all, it was not a good thing and related to her innocence. Even if nothing happened, if other people found out, there would definitely be rumors. For the time being, they don't have any evidence. Even if the police came, it would be useless. Later on, as long as we say that the two of us were together last night, they won't be able to do anything. Tang Zheng warned. I understand. Yi Dingdang saw the two whispering and suspiciously asked, What are you two chattering about? Nothing much. What happened to Qiao Fei? Who knows? Tang Zheng shrugged his shoulders and feigned ignorance. In reality, he was the clearest about Qiao Fei's situation. You two come over here. The principal waved towards Tang Zheng and Feng Shishir and said. The two of them walked over and the principal earnestly said, Last night, student Qiao Fei was injured. Do you know who did it? I don't know. Tang Zheng bluntly said. I'm not asking you, stinking brat. Madame Chow scolded and stared at Feng Shishir and said, What did you do last night? Nothing. Nothing. Who do you think you are lying to? Hurry up and tell the truth, otherwise you will suffer. Madame Chow fiercely said. Seeing this, the principal advised, Madame Chow, they are still children. Let's have a better attitude. Madame Chow glared at the principal, not understanding why his attitude today was so abnormal. It was as if he was secretly helping outsiders. Since she said she didn't do anything, then she really didn't do anything. Lu Qingmei said. Children these days are full of lies. If you believe her, pigs can climb trees. Let me ask you, you said you didn't do anything bad. Do you have a witness? She was with me last night. I can prove it. Tang Zheng said. Lu Qingmei looked at Tang Zheng in astonishment, thinking that he was clearly tutoring her last night, so how could he be with Feng Shishir? But she didn't point it out. You two were together? Madame Chow stared at Tang Zheng. How could Tang Zheng be afraid of her completely unthreatening gaze as he lightly said, Yes. Now you have nothing to say. Wrongly accusing my student. I will sue you for slander. Wrongly accused or not, the police will know when they come. Madame Chow didn't want to give up so easily. She had to find the culprit who injured her son. This way, when her son wakes up, she can resolve the hatred in her heart. Just as she finished speaking, several policemen boldly and decisively walked in and waved their hands. Everyone make way. What are you all doing here? Chief Deng, you came just in time. My family's Qiao Fei was injured last night and is currently in the hospital for emergency treatment. I suspect that it has something to do with this female student. Madame Chow bluntly said. Which eye of yours saw that your son's injury has something to do with Feng Shishir? Lu Qingmei angrily asked. This kind of thing doesn't need to be seen to know. Chief Deng, bring them all back. We will know once we interrogate them. Madame Chow ordered. Deng Maokai originally thought it was just a small matter, but when he saw Lu Qingmei, he instantly recognized her. This was because a beauty of this level was really rare, and his impression of her from that meeting was too deep. When Tang Zheng was caught by Qiao Fei, it was Deng Maokai who single-handedly arranged it. In the end, He even found his own subordinate Lu Gang to be the scapegoat. Only then did he keep his position as chief. The most important thing was that the picture of him and his lover was taken by Tang Zheng. He never would have thought that today he would be dragged by Qiao Fei's mother. Moreover, it seemed that he would have to face Lu Qingmei again. F***CK, why am I so unlucky? Are the Qiao family people my nemesis? I have only been quiet for a few days and now they are here again. A few days ago, Deng Maokai was on tenterhooks. He thought that Tang Zheng would release his picture, but after discovering that there was no movement, he guessed that the other side was soft-hearted and let him go. He secretly rejoiced. Suddenly, Deng Maokai's pupils shrunk as he saw Tang Zheng. His heart thumped and he could not help but cry out in grief. Why am I so unlucky? Why is it him again? Cough cough. Deng Maokai dryly coughed twice to cover up the shock in his heart. He pretended to be calm and said, "The police need evidence to handle a case and do not rely on words. We will investigate this matter and do not need other people to tell us what to do." What? Madame Qiao was not an idiot. She could clearly tell that Deng Maokai was not speaking up for her. For a moment she was stunned. Did the sun rise from the west today? How come the reinforcements that she brought over are all traitors? Chapter 65. Chief Deng, what do you mean? Madame Qiao asked in disbelief. Deng Maokai glanced at her and said in his heart, "Why won't you listen? I told you to shut up and I will decide on this matter." But he did not say it out loud as the Qiao family was not an ordinary family in ordinary balance. "Tell me, what exactly is going on?" Deng Maokai did not greet Lu Qingmei and Tang Zheng but pretended to be impartial and said in a businesslike manner. Madame Qiao had already discovered that something was wrong, but she still said, "My son was injured last night and I suspect that it has something to do with this female student." Deng Maokai's gaze turned towards Feng Shishir as he secretly praised her beauty and asked, "Classmate, can you tell me what you were doing last night?" "Last night I was with him the entire time," Feng Shishir calmly said. Deng Maokai glanced at Tang Zheng and nodded his head, indicating that he understood, and then said, "Then do you know how Qiao Fei was injured?" "How could I know?" "No, she is lying." Madame Qiao immediately cried out. "What you say is the truth and what others say is a lie. Don't think so highly of yourself," Lu Qingmei coldly said. Deng Maokai glanced at Lu Qingmei and saw that her face was filled with anger, even more so than the last time at the police station. His heart thumped as if she was really angry, then he might suffer a calamity, so he quickly said, "This teacher's words are reasonable. Since both sides have their own version of the story and there is no evidence, we should wait until Qiao Fei wakes up. He will definitely know how he was injured." The principal interrupted, "That's right, once Qiao Fei wakes up, then won't the truth be revealed?" Feng Shishir's gaze moved as she nervously looked towards Tang Zheng, but Tang Zheng's expression did not change as he comforted her with his eyes. Madame Qiao originally wanted to take advantage of the situation before her son woke up, so seeing that Deng Maokai was not helping her, she already knew that there was an unforeseen event. She unwillingly glared at Feng Shishir and said, "Then you just wait. Once my son wakes up, no matter who the culprit is, they will not have an easy time." Ring ring ring. As soon as she finished speaking, her phone rang. After she picked it up, her expression changed abruptly. She asked, "Is what you said true? My son has become a vegetable." She held her phone in a daze, as if she had been immobilized. The others also understood that Qiao Fei had actually become a vegetable. This was absolutely explosive news. Many people were not used to Madame Qiao's actions and were already secretly cheering. "Serves you right. Who asked you to be so arrogant? I am #1 in the world. Now you should be crying." "No, you won't even have the chance to cry." Madame Qiao did not cry. Instead, her little universe erupted, and like a loudspeaker she loudly roared, "I will kill you and avenge my son." Then, she rushed towards Feng Shishir. Tang Zheng stood in front of Feng Shishir and pulled her to the side. In the end, she fell to the ground in a sorry state. However, she immediately crawled up and rushed forward like a madwoman. Her face was malevolent like an evil spirit. "You police are just going to watch her commit a crime in broad daylight?" Lu Qingmei asked. Deng Maokai also finally reacted. He was truly confused by Madame Qiao's actions.
Seeing her crazy appearance, he knew that she had temporarily lost her wolf. Thus he hurriedly ordered his 2 subordinates. "Why haven't you caught her yet?"
"Catch me? You dare to catch me? Do you know who I am?"
"With a single word, I can peel off your skin." Madame Chow bared her fangs and brandished her claws. One of the police was not careful and was even scratched on his face. However, in the end, she was not a match for the police and was quickly restrained.
"Attacking the police is against the law," Lu Qingmei lightly said. Deng Maokai was shocked. Lu Qingmei was finally angry. This was the rhythm of dealing with Madame Chow. However, both sides were not good people. He could only impartially enforce the law so that he would not be criticized. Moreover, Tang Zheng still had something on him. Even if he did not give Lu Qingmei face, he could not help but have misgivings about Tang Zheng. "Take her away. This is a school, not a vegetable market. Making a ruckus here is not appropriate," Deng Maokai sternly said. Looking at Madame Chow's shrewish appearance, he instantly understood that Madame Chow and Lu Qingmei were not on the same level. From beginning to end, Lu Qingmei was like a phoenix high up in the sky while Madame Chow was like a chirping sparrow even though she was making a lot of noise. "What are you doing? Let me go. I want to take revenge for my son," Madame Chow shouted. Seeing this, the principal said, "Officer, this is a misunderstanding. Can you first let her go?" After all, Madame Chow's identity was special. If the police were to take her away like this, he would not be able to report back. Deng Maokai did not buy this as he impartially said, "Let her go. If she injures someone, will you take responsibility? Moreover, she attacked a police officer so she must be taken away. Let's go back to the police station. Why don't you take away the culprit who harmed my son? Take away that little slut. I want her to live a life worse than death." Madame Chow was still hysterically shouting. Deng Maotsai's face became more and more ugly. How could this person be so blind? "Then we will go back first," Deng Maokai respectfully said to Lu Qingmei.
Although he tried his best to restrain himself, anyone with a discerning eye could see that he was in awe of Lu Qingmei. With the ruckus here, there were already many students and teachers gathered at the door and windows. Many of them were looking at Lu Qingmei with complicated gazes. Everyone did not have much understanding of Lu Qingmei. They only knew that she was cold and arrogant. It was as if she did not want to interact with others. There was a feeling of being thousands of miles away from her. No one had ever thought that she had an outstanding identity. But from Deng Maotsai's reaction today, it seemed that her background was very big. Among the crowd, one of the people with the most complicated feelings was Wu Tsuehong. This farce could be attributed to her pushing the boat with the current as she wanted to embarrass Lu Qingmei. Seeing Madame Chow act so arrogantly, she was extremely happy and thought to herself, "Let the storm come even fiercer." But the final development caused her to be taken aback. The police that Madame Chow called did not help her. Instead, they took her away. This world was too crazy. She could not understand it at all. In the end, when she saw Deng Maotsai's attitude towards Lu Qingmei, she finally understood why the police's attitude was so strange. It was all because of Lu Qingmei. Who is she? Why does she have so much power? The fear in Wu Tsuehong's heart gradually spread. Her conflict with Lu Qingmei was not just a day or two. Moreover, it was an open secret. She originally thought that by relying on her position as the grade leader, she could suppress Lu Qingmei. She never thought that her background would be so big. This is bad. What if she takes revenge on me? Wu Tsuehong's heart was in turmoil. Her face instantly became pale. She was in a daze as she squeezed out of the crowd. The farce that she pushed the boat with the current had turned out like this. This was not the result that she wanted. Another person with mixed feelings was Takashi. He had been silently paying attention to the development of the situation. When he heard that Qiao Fei was injured yesterday, he immediately guessed that this matter was related to Feng Shishir. This was because he was the only one who knew about Qiao Fei's actions yesterday. If Feng Shishir was not enough to harm Qiao Fei, then there was only one other person, Tang Zheng. He wished that he could immediately rush up and say that Tang Zheng was the murderer. However, in front of the entire class, he did not dare to do so. Otherwise, he would definitely become a public enemy and there would be no way for him to stay in Class 7.
The development of the situation far exceeded his expectations. Xiao Fei actually became a vegetable. This really gave him a big fright. He could not help but secretly look at Tang Zheng. He discovered that his expression was normal, as if he did not know about this matter. However, Takashi was very clear that this matter was definitely done by him. He actually turned Xiao Fei into a vegetable. Takashi's heart went cold. Fear spontaneously rose in his heart. It was as if a fierce tiger was staring at him and could at any time open its bloody mouth and swallow him whole. No, I can't just sit here and wait for death. My conflict with Tang Zheng cannot be resolved. Now that Xiao Fei is done for, the next moment it will be my turn. I have to do something. Right, if I tell Madame Qiao the truth, then she will definitely not let Tang Zheng go. Even if there is no evidence, they will still use other methods to get revenge for Xiao Fei. Takashi's eyes lit up as if he had grabbed onto a life-saving straw. The corner of his mouth revealed a faint evil smile. The farce ended and the audience dispersed. Tang Zheng and Feng Shishir were called downstairs by Lu Qingmei. Lu Qingmei stared at the two. Tang Zheng was calm as if nothing had happened. Feng Shishir was beautiful and pretended to be calm. However, the trace of strangeness between her eyebrows did not escape Lu Qingmei's eyes. This matter definitely has something to do with them, she concluded in her heart. However, the matter of Xiao Fei becoming a vegetable still shocked her. This method was not ordinary. Her gaze fell on Tang Zheng's body. It was as sharp as a knife, as if she wanted to cut him open and see him clearly. Tang Zheng was calm and collected. Under this knife-like gaze, his calmness was somewhat strange. This matter has something to do with you guys? Lu Qingmei finally asked. Feng Shishir's heart trembled as she subconsciously tightened her grip on Tang Zheng's hand. Tang Zheng blankly raised his head and looked at Lu Qingmei, saying, Teacher Lu, this kind of joke cannot be made. Then you mean it has nothing to do with you guys? Of course it has nothing to do with us. We are students, how could we do this kind of thing? Tang Zheng discovered that he really did have a talent for lying. His face was not red. His heart was not beating fast, and even his breathing did not change in the slightest. Currently, his control over his body was very strong. As long as he did not want to reveal any flaws, it would be very difficult for others to discover. Lu Qingmei discovered that she had to re-evaluate Tang Zheng. She had already guessed that he was deliberately hiding his strength during the exam. However, this was not what surprised her the most. Tang Zheng's performance today was what surprised her the most. After doing so many things, he was still able to remain calm and composed. She could not help but think of the incident at the police station. Could it be that he was also acting at that time? Chapter 66. Then you guys better remember what you just said and say the same to other people. Lu Qingmei warned. Tang Zheng nodded. Of course. Tang Zheng couldn't help but sigh that Lu Qingmei was indeed more formidable than he had imagined. She had already seen through the clues, but she was clearly biased towards him, which was a good thing. However, being together with such a shrewd woman, Tang Zheng was worried that she would discover more of his secret, so he said, Teacher Lu, can I not make up lessons in the future? I feel that I can study by myself. No. Lu Qingmei unhesitatingly objected. She had developed an interest in Tang Zheng and wanted to slowly unravel his secrets before completely exposing Tang Zheng's secrets in front of her. She would very much enjoy this feeling of accomplishment. Tang Zheng saw that the situation wasn't good and wanted to escape, so how could she let him succeed? Their eyes met and Lu Qingmei's gaze was firm. Tang Zheng compromised and scratched his head. If he knew this would happen, he wouldn't have agreed to make up lessons. Now he had picked up a rock and smashed it on his own feet. It seems like I can only be more careful in the future and hide deeper. Teacher Lu, can we stop for a bit tonight? I'm bringing Tang Zheng home for dinner. Feng Shishir suddenly asked. Tonight? Lu Qingmei looked deeply at the two and said, Fine, I'll make an exception this time. Finished speaking, she walked away. Why are you inviting me to your home so quickly? Tang Zheng curiously asked. Are you not happy? Tang Zheng squeezed out a smile. Of course I'm happy. Don't be unhappy. You're going to my home and not a tiger's den. Moreover, Look at Xiao Fei's mom today. She definitely won't let this go. This matter needs to be handled by my dad, so you have to perform well tonight. I'm so outstanding. If I act as myself, I'll definitely win his approval. Tang Zheng bragged. Shameless. My dad's requirements are very strict. Moreover, he's very strict, so don't be scared when the time comes. Don't worry, I'm very brave. Tang Zheng patted his chest and said, I know you have a lot of guts, you are Tang Daring. Let me tell you, when I heard that Xiao Fei was in a vegetative state, I was scared out of my wits. Why were you so heavy-handed last night? Feng Shishir said with lingering fear. Tang Zhang coldly snorted and said, letting him become a vegetable is letting him off easy. After what he did to you, I really want to kill him. All right, don't be angry. Maybe this is karma. Now that he's in a vegetative state, he won't be able to harm anyone in the future. However, you must remember not to tell anyone about this. Otherwise it will be troublesome. Of course I know. Tonight, watch my eyes and act according to the situation. You must perform well in front of my father, Feng Shishir instructed. When class started, the two of them returned to the classroom. The commotion had gradually subsided. Many people looked at Feng Shishir with eyes full of affection. At that time, when Madame Qiao wanted to take away a classmate, Feng Shishir bravely stood up. This action undoubtedly won the goodwill of the people of Class 7. Feng Shishir quickly integrated into the group, even faster than Tang Zheng. A small piece of paper quietly appeared in front of Tang Zheng. Did you do this? 4 simple words, but Tang Zheng understood what it meant. He turned his head to look at the owner of the paper. Yi Dingdang stared straight at him. Tang Zheng returned the paper without giving a yes or no answer. However, in Yi Dingdang's eyes, the answer was already very obvious. Yi Dingdang was a martial artist. She had personally seen Tang Zheng face off against an assassin. That kind of decisiveness and fierceness was not something that a normal person could imagine. Thus, she believed that Tang Zheng was capable of doing such a thing. However, she believed that Tang Zheng was not a violent person. There must be a reason for this. Why? Another piece of paper appeared in front of Tang Zheng's eyes. He stared straight at these 3 words, his teeth involuntarily clenched. Of course there was a reason, but this reason could not be told to outsiders. This matter was related to Feng Shishir's reputation, so he once again pushed the paper back. Yi Dingdang wrinkled her eyebrows and coldly snorted, expressing her dissatisfaction. Tang Zheng turned a deaf ear to her words. His eyes were fixed on the blackboard as he listened to the teacher's lecture. Yi Dingdang unwillingly looked at him and then looked at Feng Shishir. She thought, Feng Shishir suddenly changing classes must have something to do with this matter. Just what did Xiao Fei do to make Tang Zheng so angry? Her gossipy heart burned, but she was unable to think of a reason. After all, a normal person would not be able to imagine that Xiao Fei would do such a shameless and bold action. This time, the storm spread through the forum at the fastest speed and throughout the school. After all, it was too big of a commotion, and the people involved were too eye-catching. Tang Zheng and Feng Shishir had undoubtedly become the focus of discussion. Many people began to envy Tang Zheng because he was too lucky to have Feng Shishir change classes for him. This special honor made many people cry out that the heavens were unfair. Why did they not have such a good thing? In addition, there were people who pointed out that Class 7 had 2 campus beauties. One was Tang Zheng's official girlfriend, and the other was his rumored girlfriend. This seemed like there was going to be a good show to watch. It was easy to start a war between women, especially beautiful women. Moreover, there was a man between them, so this war was bound to break out. The good fortune of having multiple lovers was not so easy to enjoy. Many people harbored evil intentions and cursed in their hearts, waiting to watch a good show. The person involved did not care about other people's thoughts. This was because Tang Zheng had already sat in the Feng family's car, preparing to attend the banquet. Was this a Hongmen banquet? Tang Zheng did not know. In any case, even if it was not a Hongmen banquet, this banquet would not be easy. However, his mentality was very good, and he was not worried. He did not bring a gift because he was once again a pauper. He did not have the money to buy a gift. If he bought a worthless gift, then he would be laughed at by the other party. Therefore,
He brought her along to the banquet like a hoodlum. You don't have to feel burdened. You have me. Feng Shishir tightly held his hand and comforted him. I don't have any burdens, Tang Zheng casually said. Feng Shishir seriously looked at him and found that he was not lying. She could not help but tap his forehead and said, It seems like I was worried for nothing. Your heart is too big. Hee, this is called strategically valuing the opponent and tactically looking down on the opponent. You even raised it to a theoretical level. Glib tongue. Feng Shishir did not know whether to laugh or cry as she stared at him. When the car arrived, Feng Shishir held his hand and walked into the magnificent home. She changed her image of a good girl from before and seemed to want to use this method to declare her determination. Perhaps this was a counterattack to her mother's decision. When Shi Mengqin saw the two's intimate appearance, her originally unsightly expression dropped to the freezing point and she almost went berserk. Feng Shishir acted as if she did not see her expression. She walked with Tang Zheng in front of her parents and naturally said, Dad, Mom, this is Tang Zheng. Hello, Uncle and Auntie. Tang Zheng courteously greeted. Shi Mengqin coldly snorted, not even giving him a friendly look. Feng Shishir unhappily pouted and then looked at her father. Feng Chonghua calmly nodded his head and said, Little Tang is here. Quickly sit down and rest. Feng Shishir was somewhat happy. Her father was indeed much better than her mother. She gave her father a sweet smile and pulled Tang Zheng to sit down. Little Tang, how are your studies in school? Feng Chonghua amiably asked like an elder. Not bad. Tang Zheng replied. Feng Chonghua smiled but did not say anything. He did not continue to ask this question. Little Tang, who else is in your family? My family only has me and grandfather. Feng Chonggua's smile increased by several degrees. Little Tang, what plans do you have for the future? For now I don't have any. The smile on Feng Chonggua's face was already very thick and he did not ask any more questions. Little brat, this person is very cunning, Tian Chanzi suddenly said. Tang Zheng was slightly startled and said, Why do you say that? Did you not hear the hidden meaning behind his 3 questions? Tang Zheng's heart moved. These 3 seemingly simple questions actually contained a deeper meaning. The first question was about his studies. Tang Zheng was ranked last in the entire school. This was something that Shi Mengqin must have already investigated. Feng Chonghua clearly knew the answer to this question. This was because he wanted to embarrass Tang Zheng. The second question was about his family. Tang Zheng's family was poor and the difference between his family and the Feng family was like heaven and earth. This was another blow. The third question was about his plans for the future. Tang Zheng honestly said that he only wanted to deal with the high school exam and quickly increase his cultivation. As for other things, he really did not consider them. The 3 questions advanced layer by layer. In reality, it was related to a person's soft and hard power. In the eyes of outsiders, Tang Zheng did not have any strength, so when faced with these 3 questions, they would feel ashamed of their inferiority and retreat. However, what Feng Chonghua did not know was that Tang Zheng was a cultivator. These 3 important questions were not worth mentioning to him. He was not ashamed of his inferiority because of these 3 questions, so he did not realize Feng Chonggua's intentions. But Heaven Monk was old and experienced. He saw through Feng Chonggua's thoughts with a single glance. Tang Zheng originally had a good impression of Feng Chonghua, but after hearing Tian Chanzi's words, he understood that Feng Chonghua was much harder to deal with than Shi Mengqin. Shi Mengqin's dissatisfaction was expressed on her face, but Feng Chonghua did not show any expression. A smiling tiger. Feng Chonghua was a smiling tiger. Tang Zheng could not help but feel a burst of helplessness. This really was a feast at Hongmen. Feng Shishir did not think that her father's questions would have such a deep meaning. She saw the smile on her father's face become wider and wider. Moreover, Tang Zheng's behavior was polite and neither servile nor overbearing. She felt that this matter was settled. If I knew that father was so easy to talk to, I would have brought Tang Zheng home earlier. After that, Feng Chonghua did not ask any more questions. Instead, he passionately urged Tang Zheng to eat more. If not for the fact that Tang Zheng already understood his intentions, he would have been deceived by his enthusiasm. After the meal, Feng Shishir passionately brought Tang Zheng to tour her home. She was like a little angel. At this moment, she felt that happiness was so close that it was at her fingertips.
You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.